and your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you. This is my last day of the week. I'm taking off the next couple of days. I will be turning 38 years old tomorrow, and you know what I'm not spending my 38th birthday doing? Talking to you guys about preseason football. So I'm going somewhere warm, somewhere where there is no mosquitoes. I will be back on Monday. Rob will be here to hold you down. You might not know this, but Aaron Ladd and I have the exact same birthday. Aaron is turning 30 years old tomorrow, so Aaron will join us here in studio coming up in about 15 minutes, and we will try to impart some wisdom on the young bull as he is turning 30 years old tomorrow. My name is Carrington. Happy to be here. Rob, are we allowed to tell them what the plan was going to be for my birthday? We're not. We can't even tell them what the possible plan was going to be, even though we're not doing the plan anymore. We can't even hint at what the plan was going to be. Well, I think I can say this without saying it. The bit was going to be that I was going to give you guys gifts for my birthday. We didn't get nearly enough gifts that I thought we were going to have. I thought you guys were going to be very excited about the gifts that we were giving. We didn't get enough. We didn't get enough. So it failed. It was a fail. I really tried. I did my best to try to look out for you guys. And unfortunately, it did not work. We have a lot to get into in today's show. Yesterday, somebody said something that stuck with me. They said I was a clickbait artist and that I was saying things to purposely rile you guys up about the Chiefs coming up this season. So I went home and I thought about this and I wrote down how I feel about the Chiefs heading into the season. And I want to have an open discussion on where you guys agree or disagree with me as we sit here on August 19th and the season is about to get going and where I stand with the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll do that. Aaron's going to be on the show. Cody Tapp is going to be on the show. Harold Kuntz is going to be at the show talking about the stadium. There's a lot to get into in today's show. Before we go any further, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you to listen to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to listen to the show. I would appreciate it. And number three, and most importantly, I need you guys to go stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. Whether you're going in for a cold brew, maybe you're going in to get a hamburger, maybe you're going in for an incredible lunch special, whatever your food plans are later today, make sure that they include our friends over at The Other Place. So we have concluded the training camp portion for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I do think that there are two noticeable takeaways to have towards the Kansas City Chiefs. Takeaway number one is, yes, the Chiefs have dealt with some injuries. That is going to happen. They are playing and practicing football. It is very difficult to come out of training camp completely unscathed. You got guys running around and jumping and cutting and knocking each other to the ground sometimes. You're going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. I think, for the most part, the injuries that you were most worried about at the beginning of training camp have cleared themselves up. And now on the opposite side, coming out of training camp, you don't feel nearly as bad about those anymore. Mansour Delane is a guy that we've spoken about throughout this training camp portion. I think you got reason to feel very good about Mansour Delane heading into the season. That's not to tell you that the Chiefs are without blemish here. Joshua Simmons with the back issue. Trey Smith hasn't practiced in about a week and a half or so. The Chiefs are dealing with injuries, but you can acknowledge it could be much worse for Kansas City than where they currently sit. Look at the New Orleans Saints, for example. Cam Jordan dealing with an injury right now. Jordan Tyson out for the first 2 months of the season. Alvin Kamara out for a month. We're talking about your number 2 wide receiver, possibly your number 1 running back, your number 1 pass rusher. All of those guys could miss a substantial part of the season. That's not what we're talking about in Kansas City. So yes, you've dealt with the Snead injury and a Rice injury and a Worthy injury, but there is no reason to think, based off the information we have now, and things may change, that you can't get to the finish line, which is the start of the season, as healthy as any other team in the National Football League. There is no reason to think that Patrick Mahomes is not going to start against the Denver Broncos. And as of right now, there is not a season-ending season-altering type injury that the Kansas City Chiefs are dealing with. So the Chiefs have spun the wheel of misfortune. They've come out on the other side. There is no suspension that is hanging over their head. There is no substantial injury that is hanging over the Chiefs' head right now. They find themselves in a really, really good spot. The other takeaway that I think we have from Chiefs training camp is this. We talk a lot about these 2 draft classes. And these 2 draft classes, in my opinion, became a foundation of why the Chiefs had so much success over the last couple of years. When you have a draft in which you get Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith, that's a really solid draft class. Nick Bolton, as good as any linebacker in the National Football League. Creed Humphrey, the best player at his position in the league. Trey Smith, we're talking about 3 second contract guys, 3 possible Chiefs Ring of Honor guys. When you get that in one draft class and you add that to what you already have as a foundation, you can win a lot of really important football games. The Chiefs have won a lot of really important football games since that draft class. The following season, when the Chiefs had an abundance of things, so they had 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, when they had 3 seventh-round picks, the Chiefs made the most out of it. So yes, the Chiefs missed in 2022. But when you hit on Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis, one guy you gave a second contract to, the other guy you got back a first-round pick for. Brian Cook, a guy who turned out to get a nice second contract with the Cincinnati Bengals. Leo Chenal's a starting player right now in the National Football League. Darian Kennard didn't really help you a lot in 2022, but currently starts at right tackle for the Green Bay Packers. So you hit on the pick overall. You just didn't hit on the pick for you. Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Johnson, to have 3 hits in the 7th round the way the Chiefs did, they had a 2-year stretch in 21 and 22 of a foundational draft class, and they went on to be a very good team with those picks. It's early to call it. We haven't seen these guys, but it does feel like they have a chance to replicate some of that success with this draft class. And I get why you guys are so excited heading into the season. Mansour Delane closed with a really strong camp. He didn't really open with a really strong camp because of the injury and couldn't physically do all the things that you needed to do. But over the last week, as you have seen him more and more involved in practice and you're getting more one-on-one drills, Mansour Delane is going to be a good NFL player. Maybe he doesn't hit the ceilings that we've been talking about, and he doesn't turn out to be Patrick Surtain, who I think is going to go in the Pro Football Hall of Fame one day. But Mansour Delane, you can just look at that guy. He is going to be a good player for you. He is going to be a starter for you for the next 4 or 5 seasons. That's a good place to be in. Peter Woods, up and down camp. But if you hit at D tackle and you can turn him into a Jeffrey Simmons type, you turn him into a Quinnen Williams type, he can be one of those kinds of defensive tackles, which I think is a possible ceiling for Peter Woods. That's a big-time hit. R. Mason Thomas at the pass rushing spot. Jadon Kennedy, who's going to be in the rotation for them at corner. We've been talking a lot about Emmett Johnson these last couple of days and the kind of player that I think he could be in this offense. And Cyrus Allen, that's not even counting a guy like Khalil Benson, whose name doesn't come up on this list, but obviously is a part of your draft class, is a rookie on this team, and has a chance to be a starter at some point for you. We are, I think, maybe 7-8 weeks away from you're going to be looking at these guys as starters for you. Mansour Delane can be a starter this year. Peter Woods can be a starter. R. Mason Thomas is going to be in the rotation, possible starter for you. Jadon Kennedy could end up being the nickel corner. Let's see how things shake out, but could be a really valuable depth piece. Emmett Johnson could be RB number 2. I think he could have 500 or more yards this season. Cyrus Allen, people think he could be wide receiver 1 on this team at some point. This class has a chance of being like the 2022 class. This team has a chance of being like the 2021 class. I don't think there was any reason to feel bad about this draft class leaving St. Joe, and you should only feel good and hopeful about what the future can provide. And when you look at what you drafted here, and if you can hit on these things, we're talking about the foundation that can carry you in the next stadium. We're talking about possibly having a top 5, top 10 corner in the league. We're talking about having one of the best young defensive tackles, a Jalen Carter type in Peter Woods. We're talking about R. Mason Thomas to go alongside George Karlaftis, who's 25 years old, and having a couple really good rush ins. We're talking about Emmett Johnson, who maybe one day could be a running back number 1 for somebody. Cyrus Allen, who could end up being a very productive wide receiver. These are your money positions. These are the guys that if they work out, they could possibly be the highest paid players at their positions. They could be top 5, top 10, and highest paid. So the Chiefs took big swings in 2026, and so far, it looks like they have made some very good selections. We got to see what these guys look like on Sundays. We got to see what these guys look like when the pads come on. But this is the kind of draft class and foundation that you can win a lot of games with, the same way you did with 2022, the same way you did with 2021. As we are leaving St. Joe, I know the Chiefs technically have 2 more preseason games left. They really only have 1 preseason game left. Nobody that really matters should play in the 3rd preseason game. That's just not the way the game is played anymore. We are just about out of the woods of anything that could go wrong in the August portion, and it's time to start looking ahead and getting ready for the Denver Broncos. Coming up on the other side, Aaron Ladd is going to join us in studio. He turns 30 years old tomorrow. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circus Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. Dane Hughes here, and for everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circus Sports app. Then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circus Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older in Missouri. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Man, I should not have tried to handle this car wreck stuff myself.
Why?
Insurance keeps calling. I gotta find a body shop, rental car, doctor's appointments. Now they're asking for a bunch of other things.
Dude, why are you trying to do this yourself?
Call the Car Crash Kings.
That's literally what they do. You worry about getting better. They deal with the insurance, the paperwork, the calls, all of it.
Hurt in a car wreck? Don't do it yourself. Call the Car Crash Kings. It's what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely from advertisements.
Hi, I'm Danny Gravatt, Division Manager at Ready Services. For over 6 decades, my family has kept Kansas City comfortable, and I've been proud to be part of it for over 50 years. When a pipe bursts or the AC quits, you don't need a quick fix. You need a team you can trust. As a family-owned company, Ready Services delivers expert plumbing and HVAC services with honest repairs at the right prices. We guarantee you expert services without the high-pressure sales pitches. Get the job done right the first time. Contact us at ReadyServices.com today.
Let's be honest, you've heard about Centric for years because Alex and I have been talking about it, and you've probably been thinking about making that change, starting a new career, or finding something with actual opportunity. What are you waiting for?
In as little as 4 months, Centric can prepare you for an in-demand career in IT with that hands-on training from experienced instructors that know exactly what employers are looking for right here in the Kansas City area. The next class is another opportunity to change your future.
Connect with Russ Mondry today at Centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com. Your future won't wait, so neither should you.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer in his lifetime. That could be your father, your brother, your best friend, or you. Prostate cancer often has no early warning signs, but when caught early, it's highly treatable. At Kansas City Urology Care, our board-certified urologists specialize in prostate health, offering advanced diagnostics, personalized treatment plans, and expert care every step of the way. Don't ignore it. Don't delay it. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this water main is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Lemonade! Fresh squeezed lemonade! Lemonade? Oh, nuts.
Is your business struggling to be seen? Not reaching the right customers?
Yeah.
Odyssey's here to help. Your one-stop shop for digital marketing.
Wait, really?
With targeted digital media, plus SEO, SEM, social, OTT, and more, we help your business reach the right audience and drive results.
Whoa, hey, one at a time.
Stop missing out on valuable customers. Visit digitallocalads.com to learn more about our local advertising solutions. That's digitallocalads.com.
Okay, people, line starts here.
This afternoon, expect showers and thunderstorms with a high of 83.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Monso Delane from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
We introduced to the show right now Aaron Ladd. Aaron Ladd is not here as a media member with KOMU Channel 8 in Columbia, Missouri.
Kinda.
You are here largely because tomorrow is your 30th birthday.
Okay.
Happy birthday to Aaron Ladd, 30 years old. Now, this is where I know you're not going to give me any credit, but when you made a last career move, who looked out for you, took you on a nice dinner. I treated you like an Instagram baddie. I took you to 801 Chop House, paid the tab. No problem.
You're leaving out a key detail here. A very, very, very key detail.
It's your birthday.
It's our birthday.
Aaron,
we have the same birthday, Carrington. August 20th, we were both born. Now, honestly, it wasn't the same year. How old are you turning tomorrow?
38.
Oof.
No one cares about 38.
That's kind of serious.
I only have maybe 4 more important birthdays in my life. You get 40, 50,
50's a big
6. You know what I mean? You don't get, at this 38, no one cares about 38. It's just Thursday to me.
You can run for political office now, I think, at 38, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that the milestone?
That's not my future. That's not my future for me. But I just want to tell people, because I know this is what you'll do. You'll make it seem like I don't look out for you. When you made a big career move, I took you out on a nice date, came to pick you up, took you, paid for your meal. Today, you turned 30 years old. Rob, at first, he wanted to go to J. Cole. He wanted me to go in on a suite. I said I would go in. I said I'm not paying more than $1,000 to see somebody that I've seen 7 other times.
That's nothing for you, though. $1,000.
I was happy to put into it. You're like, oh, and then the thing was, you didn't want to put in on the J. Cole.
I mean, $1,000.
You just said, you know what, I'll get regular tickets. That's what you said.
Which I did. Section 128, if you see me tonight.
And then I said, you know what? I got us a suite connect anyway. I'll be in the suite. So if you want to come to the suite, you're more than welcome to. Look at that.
You looked out.
I got you a nice ticket upgrade.
You looked out.
I feel like I've got you a very nice birthday gift. as you're turning 30 years old.
Don't say I'm not here at KOMUA capacity, because now we're doing a little home and home. You know, you have a little something coming out in theaters.
You never thought it was coming out.
I was skeptical. I was very skeptical.
Even though I tried to show you as it kept going, hey, you should watch it. You never wanted to watch our documentary, which is coming out August 27th, Armageddon at Arrowhead. It premieres for the first time in Screenland Armor. I tried to include you in the process. Hey, can you watch it and give me your thoughts? Couldn't get. Rob's seen it before. Rob knew it was real.
I am included in the process. Where do you think you got that archival footage from?
You did look out.
Armageddon at Arrowhead doesn't get across the finish line without KOMUA.
You did help. You know what? That's what you and I help each other here.
Yeah.
Do you want any I'm turning 30-year-old advice or wisdom?
Yeah, because I've heard a lot. I'm asking people around, 20s. I lived my 20s to the fullest. Kansas City, Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, concerts, Niagara Falls, ran a marathon.
We heard a lot of Ale House stories on this show.
I did have some Ale House tales. Pete Sweeney and I, our jerseys are in the rafters there.
Please don't throw Pete in this. That's nasty work. Don't throw Pete in this. You can throw yourself in the game. I'm not letting you do that to a Peter G. Sweeney.
So, yeah, I ran Ruckshaw during my 20s. But now, I was telling you before we came on mic, 30s, it's time to put some of those childish things away and kind of mature a little bit and move on and kind of elevate, evolve, if you will. I got to go from my starter Pokemon to kind of my next level Pokemon.
Okay, I understand that
evolve,
analogy.
Dot. Help me move on in these 30s.
I actually believe the 30s are the best time of your life for this reason. I think it is the first time where financially and career-wise it intersects for you.
Okay.
The 20s are like trying to prove yourself in your field. I want to be this, like you are aspiring to be something. When you're 30, for some people, you've already accomplished those things, so you've put in the hard work. You're making more money than you made when you was in your 20s. So now you can enjoy the fruits of your labor a little bit more when you're in your 30s, a little bit more. Like 32 is much better than 22 because you're broke at 22. If you're playing right in your 20s, you're not broke when you're in your 30s. So that's I think 30s are better.
I definitely have a better sense of self. I can go into most situations now, personally, professionally, family, relationships, and kind of know, hey, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm comfortable. This is what my strengths and weaknesses are. I can definitely feel that in my 30s. But I still, it's funny, 30 is still young in adult years, though, Dot, right? Like I've been an adult, quote unquote, since 18, entering 30. I mean, I'm still a young person. I still have a lot to learn. And I lean on my OGs like you, my unks in the business.
I'm unk now?
Oh, definitely. Look at the shirt you have on.
Rob, do you think I'm unk now?
He's got this like bowling.
38. That's closer to 40 than 35.
I actually think 40 is when you officially become unk. I'm not ready to accept unk yet.
You're unk adjacent then.
Okay, I'm definitely unk adjacent. I can live with being unk adjacent. I can live with that. Right now, we have Aaron Ladd joining us in studio. You did say there was one thing you want to talk about. I'm happy to talk about it.
We don't have
to do that now. I'm happy. Now, are you want to say what you just said to me off the air or on the air? Are you ready to say that or?
No, I am. I think Chiefs fans should be locked in on the wild card in 2026. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of unknown commodities, C-Dot. I don't know what Rashee Rice is going to give me. Xavier Worthy, we're still betting on potential. I think Kenneth Walker is going to look good in this system, but he has a new position coach and a new coordinator as well. Patrick Mahomes is maybe going to be at 85% without playing the preseason for the first time in his career. And the offensive line, which had injury and patchwork problems last year, they're still dealing with some of that in the preseason in the lead up to this year. It's a tough schedule. Travis Kelce is entering year 14. I think 9 or 10 wins in a division that's improved puts you in a part to be a wild card team. And I don't know that was a bad word. I mean, I know Kansas City fans on their way to multiple Super Bowls were like, we run the West. The West has gotten better. Kansas City hasn't dramatically gotten better this offseason. The one position group you could maybe say has drastically improved.
There's not a maybe about running back.
It's the running back.
They're noticeably better
They're noticeably better at running back. But is that going to is that going to get you from 6-11 to a 12-win team? I don't think so, Dot. So let's reframe it. Wild card team in 2026, that's where I'm looking at.
Okay, this is where I've been with the Chiefs and the text line. They go through their love-hate cycle with me. You know how that goes. I think the Chiefs go into this season with more question marks than we're used to, where they usually have periods or exclamation points. Like, if you look at their wide receiver room, there's not really an exclamation point with anybody in that wide receiver room. There's a question mark with almost everybody else. When you talk about the defensive side of the ball, D-line, linebacker, secondary, a lot of them when it comes to that. Where I do think, and just being here and reading the text line over the last couple of weeks, I think your belief in the Chiefs has to come from two things. It has to come from their foundation hasn't really changed much, even though the other parts have changed. It's still Brett Veach, it's still Clark Hunt, it's still Andy Reid, it's still Patrick Mahomes. And the belief that they, being the constants, will figure out everything else around them as the season progresses. So at least for me, what I think best case scenario for the Chiefs is going to be their offense kind of hits the ground running in a way that people maybe are not predicting outside of Kansas City as they allow their defense a little bit of time to get going. And we see this happen every year with the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
They'll be 6-4, 7-5 at the midway point. And down the stretch, that defense starts to figure things out. Mahomes stops turning the ball over as much. And then they just win 4 of their last 5 games, and they're a team that nobody wants to play in the postseason. But I do agree with you that this season is going to have a little bit more highs and lows and be a little bit bumpier just because they just have so much uncertainty on both sides of the ball.
I think you have to throw the coaching question mark in there as well. One of the things
with Andy?
There's some new faces in there.
Okay, I'm just asking.
You're betting on the wide receiver coach being an improvement. You're betting on Eric Bieniemy coming back, kind of getting the band back together type of thing. Is DeMarco Murray going to get the best out of the running backs groups? And yeah, I will go out there and say Andy as well. Does Andy still have the juice to be able to be the good cop and get the best out of what this unit can be? We talk about this twice a week on the Chief Squad Show on the Locked On Podcast Network. Please check us out wherever you get your podcasts. I just 9 wins to me, considering where Pat is, and we're all talking about Pat coming back in week 1, he's not going to be 100%, Dot. I'm not expecting 15 of old. I'm not expecting 87 of old. I still wonder about, are they going to be a disciplined team in 2026? They came out and gave us 12 penalties for 83 yards in the first game. I know
to be fair, 7 of those were with the backup offensive line.
Brother.
You're hoping that Hunter Norzad doesn't get in any game.
This team had a lot of penalties last year. I believe they were the 4th most penalized or 7th most penalized.
They got Jawan Taylor out of here.
He's a Falcon now.
Yeah, of course. Of course he's a Falcon.
He'll fit right in. He's a dirty bird.
I'll never forget when you came on this show and you were trying to peddle that Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix pack. That was a nasty era of Rob Ladsport. That was a nasty era.
I mean, it's worse now. We got Tua and Michael Penix.
Even worse. I know you're taking a step back.
It's a downgrade. The week 5 bye is another thing. The schedule doesn't necessarily do them any favors in that aspect. Look, KC has played on this knife's edge for a long time. We talked about the 1-score games going back the last 2 seasons. This is not a team that can depend on the bounce of the ball going their way in the future. They got to will that luck. And the discipline hasn't been there in years past. The coaching, there's a lot of new faces. I'm fine with wild card team. That's where I'll sit right now entering the season.
Who do you like in the AFC? Question I've been asking people that we have on right now is there's probably 9 teams in the AFC that you can make an argument for this is the best team in the conference.
What are the 9 teams?
I mean, Denver, Los Angeles, Kansas City, Cincinnati, I think, has an argument to it. Buffalo, New England. Like, I mean, almost half
Baltimore?
of the AFC.
You don't throw Baltimore in there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to name every single team in the AFC. Okay. You know, that was the exercise we were doing here. But you see what I'm saying? Like, almost half of the conference can argue we could find ourselves in the Super Bowl, and you wouldn't be shocked. You wouldn't be shocked if Houston's there. You wouldn't be shocked if Denver's there.
I'd be a little surprised if Houston is there.
Only because of C.J. Stroud.
I don't like Stroud right now. I don't.
It's hard to like him.
There's a lot of organizational things that I think are playing into that well, because they're looking at the side of things where they're like, hey, how do we move on if we need to? How do we hit the escape latch if we need to? They've invested a lot in the team around him and feel like that team is championship ready. They're just missing the quarterback based on how he played last year. He would have got benched on a lot of other teams in that playoffs too.
Who's your favorite team, like, heading into it? I like Denver. The text line hates me.
I thought you were Charger Dot.
I switched up. I'm Denver Dot now.
So you just an AFC West homie hopper now?
Just moving around, yeah.
You going to be Raider Dot here soon?
I might be. I like Mendoza.
He's got a great veteran in the room.
Yeah. He's got a nice OG.
I'm your Mendoza and you're my Kirk Cousins.
I'm Kirk Cousins for sure. Absolutely.
Because all you do is steal money.
Who do you like in the AFC?
I'll take Denver. I don't really love Denver, though. They're like an unlikable team.
Do you love anybody in the AFC?
Not really. Not really. The champion's coming out of the NFC. I like the
You like the Rams?
I think the more interesting.
Shock.
I think the more interesting thing is that is it Rams or Field, essentially, at this point in time? Especially if Aaron Donald comes back.
They have to play somebody in the AFC. Somebody has to, the cream has to rise to the top.
Sure, but we saw that Super Bowl last year. What was that, a game for 2 quarters?
You got 2 out of that?
I made it to halftime. I made it to Bad Bunny.
I don't remember anything about the Super Bowl.
You didn't watch Bad Bunny?
No, I watched every single second of it. I just don't remember anything of it. I mean, when's the last time you saw a highlight from the Super Bowl?
I remember going into that game, I knew, and we talked about this on the show, there's going to be a defensive touchdown scored in this game. So I was just waiting for that moment. And that is the one moment that I remember from that game. Because after that, I was like, it was already out of hand at that point in time. But it just kind of put the exclamation point on how dominant that defense was. And bringing it back to KC, I mean, who's that guy on defense for KC? Is it 95? Is it 32? I think 17. He got Drewski routed the other day at camp.
I think it's a great question. A point that I've been making about the Chiefs is they got to start creating more stars under the age of 30. Like when you were winning championships,
they did. They just don't want to pay them after they get there.
So you got to start over. Like Mansour Delane's got to turn into one of those guys. Peter Woods has to be one of those guys. Mason Thomas. Like all of their elite players.
Karlaftis was supposed to be that guy.
Absolutely. He's now 25 years old. He's now transitioning to be that guy. You need a guy like Rashee Rice to put it together this season and have a George Pickens where he finally puts it together kind of season.
Don't hold your breath.
We know who the names are on Kansas City. The guys who I think have been good players, like I think Rice, when he's been healthy, has been a good player. I think Karlaftis has been a good player.
Sure.
You need a couple of those guys to transition and become great foundational players. I don't know if they have many young guys that would fit that mold.
Why doesn't Nick Bolton fit that mold?
I just think the kind of position he plays where he's just get a lot of tackles.
He made a pivotal play in one of your championship moments. He's a Mizzou Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think
he's somebody that's been in your organization since he was drafted and you extended him at this point.
I think Nick Bolton could be that guy if it was 2006. I just don't know if you're a guy that doesn't get sacks on the quarterback and isn't a great coverage guy. I don't know if you can be the leader of a defense in 2026. You got to be a guy that either takes the football away or a guy that gets pressure on the other team's quarterback. That's just not the kind of player he is.
I know it was a limited sample size for our Mason Thomas, but hey, that was a welcome sight to see. That was a sight for sore eyes as somebody who covered this team since 2020. I don't remember that type of physical trait being from a Spags draftee and then kind of he called halftime as the play I'm thinking of last week against the Rams. I'd like to see that on a consistent basis. KC has struggled so mightily getting to the quarterback in recent years. Just think about what that could offer to an offense that I think is going to try to find their footing early in the year. And I hope they run the ball. I just hope they commit to running the ball. And that goes back to my coaching point I was trying to make earlier. You have different personnel now. Fit those personnel with the play calls.
Rams, Seahawks, I think everybody likes those teams in the NFC. Who's the team that you like the most that's not one of those two?
Chicago.
You're a Bears guy.
I mean, they showed us something last year.
I mean, I like the Bears. I like the Cowboys. I know I'm going to be wrong.
You like the Cowboys?
I think the Cowboys might be good this year. I do.
You really are looking up to your OG and trying to get on First Take. Huh?
I do like the Cowboys.
You a Cowboys guy?
I do like the Cowboys.
You like the Lakers as well?
No, I do not like the Lakers.
Slow time Lakers?
The slow time Lakers.
Snow time Lakers.
Oh, you said that. I did not say that. I am not participating in that. You are not about to get me in trouble here. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not going to be here. I will tell you a quick story. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, sure, perfect.
I want to hear your story. Rob, I want to hear yours as well. What did you do for your 21st birthday? I will tell you what I did for my 21st birthday. I was working here at 610.
You always work on your birthday,
well, can I finish the story? I haven't got a chance to tell you the story. Nick Wright said that he was going to take me out. He was dating a young lady who now became his wife. Me, Nick Wright, his now wife at the time. Oh, you were
turning 21.
Yeah, I was turning 21. Mark Carmen and Jared Carter. We went to America's Pub. That's where I spent my 21st birthday. I spent my 21st birthday at America's Pub.
My 20th birthday is more exciting. 21st birthday, I think I went to a club in Columbia called My House, which is kind of weird. You know, you tell people, hey, we're going to My House. A little quick confusion there. I had a nice night there, young lady and some friends surrounded me. On my 20th birthday, though, I had each of my friends, I've had 20 friends, and told them to bring something that was rolled, and we each enjoyed one at a time. It was a great night.
I regret asking you that question.
I mean, I don't know what you expected.
You had to know that was going to go bad.
I don't know what you expected.
Okay, I try to ask questions to learn more about you. And
I was young. I told you I had some childish times in my 20s.
I was just expecting an email on Monday whenever Spec gets back from vacation. I know that's happening. Rob, how did you spend your 21st birthday?
I was in college at KU, and my actual birthday was on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, so I didn't do anything fun. I went out, got some dinner, I got drinks with a friend. But that Saturday was the first time I was going to be able to legally hit the bars with my real ID, and I was very excited because that was KUMU that night too, because my birthday's in January. And then Marcus Denman ruined my birthday.
Good.
Perfect.
Great.
Absolutely perfect.
Great.
Phantom charge call screwed my night.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
I was at that game. I tell people this, and I understand everybody. I get it. The only time I felt it more tense at a sporting event was Game 7 of the World Series. Just think, you remember, KU won the last game at Hearn Center.
I don't remember this.
I'm
turning 30.
You don't remember the Hearn Center?
I'm turning 30 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, how are you the
30.
sports director at Columbia and don't know your history? This is your problem. You don't know your history.
SEC Tiger.
The house David Paget closed.
Yeah, you don't know your history.
I'm an SEC Tiger. You know?
Well, to give you a little bit of history, you've been to the Hearn Center before. You know that they used to play Missouri and Kansas play the last game of the season. They played Kansas. Kansas won the last game at the Hearn Center. They're making the move to the SEC. I never thought Kansas would ever play a game again at Mizzou Arena. I did think eventually they'd play each other at Sprint Center. I never thought they would agree to a home. And being in that stadium and just the tension of, oh my God, they're going to win the last game. I'm telling you, every basket, every dribble, I've never been in a building that was just more. So when they won and Denman hit that shot, and that was also the same week they got Dorial Green Beckham. It was a great time. It was a great week to be a Missouri Tiger fan.
Yet you don't come visit me in Columbia.
Football's about to start.
I've been there since January. You like, I'll get down there. I'll get down there for a game.
I promise you I'll be there for a football game. I'll be there for the Texas game this year. We'll hang out. Little Arch Manning, little Austin Simmons love.
I am not very optimistic there.
Okay. Football season time. You got to find a new job. You're not optimistic about the Chiefs. You're not optimistic about Mizzou.
He's already in Jason Crow mindset. Jason Crow's on campus.
You're the sports director.
I'm not a cheerleader. I'm specific. I can be critical.
Lie to us a little bit. Give us a little something.
You've seen those Austin Simmons numbers, man. They're scratching off a lottery ticket.
Well, yeah, lottery tickets hit all the time. Somebody just hit for $1 billion last week.
There's a lot of talent around him. And I know we talked about Ahmad Hardy last time I was on the show. I still would be shocked if he plays before week 3, to be honest with you.
I hope he plays in the Kansas game.
I don't think that's happening. And you can aggregate me on that one.
Yeah, I think he's going to play in the Kansas game.
Don't think that's happening in quotes.
I don't think they need him to beat Kansas, but I do think he will play in the Kansas game.
But why? For what? If they don't need him to beat Kansas, what's the benefit of it'd be different if it's at Mizzou. I get it. If it's at Mizzou, you're trying to get people in the seats.
It's a rivalry, and I don't think KU is going to be great this year, but you and I both know how these rivalry games work, and where the better team on the road, it's a night game, it's a Friday night, things are weird, you turn the ball over, you or I both don't know how good Austin Simmons can be. I could definitely see that game being tense in the fourth quarter, and it doesn't need to be tense. So if you're telling me, I think they might have the best running back in college football. It's either him or Kawan Lacey. So I'd much rather have him than not have him. Now, maybe you don't give him 30 carries, and it's much more of a 1A, 1B with Jamal Roberts.
Yeah, I was going to say. The backup's not half bad. It's not like there's a big drop.
That's just not a game I want to lose. I'm not really interested in losing to Kansas in football. Basketball's one thing. They beat us in basketball. It's like, all right, whatever. We're going there. We're losing in football to Cole Ballard? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's who their starting quarterback is?
Cole Ballard.
I get my college football updates.
He ain't got a Scully.
I get my college football updates from Drew now, actually. I follow 96.5 on Instagram. So I see his game-by-game predictions.
Are you still calling it X?
I never called it X.
I've absolutely heard you say, I follow him on X before. You've never said that. You're going to tell that lie right here before the Lord.
I think I maybe said it once.
Of course you said it before. We got Aaron Ladd in studio here taking us up until 3 o'clock. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your home for all things Chiefs football and Royals baseball.
I'm a professional complainer.
Is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Side at Rob Side 4. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, And so are the deals. Right now at Rob Site Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Site Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Site Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Men, if your energy is down, your workouts aren't producing results, you're gaining stubborn weight, losing muscle, sleeping poorly, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, it may be more than just aging. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. Our low T and body composition treatments are designed to help men regain energy, improve focus, sleep better, build lean muscle, reduce unwanted fat, and restore confidence both in and out of the gym. At Heartland Men's Health, we specialize in helping men optimize their health, performance, and vitality. Using personalized medical treatments tailored to your health and goals, many men begin noticing improvements in energy, mental clarity, recovery, motivation, libido, and overall body composition within just a few weeks. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, PSA and T-test, and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world has noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You already know that every Royals game is right here on 96.5 The Fan. But if you're looking for more Royals coverage, tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Fernier throughout the week. He joins Fesco and Dusty every Monday morning at 8:20. Cody and Gold every Wednesday at 12:30. And he joins The Drive every Friday at 3. Miss anything? Check it out on the show podcast or All Things Fern Channel, wherever you get your podcasts. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
This is what I don't like about you, Aaron Lab. You complain and want to come on the show.
I know y'all have it somewhere.
We bring you on the show. And now you're complaining about the music that brings you into the show?
I had a pre-made open for years on this very program.
And then you left. You think we just keep audio files? You think we just got Roger Twibell audio just sitting somewhere? We got DA show opens? No. We have to clear out the old
it's
and
not
make
like
room
a file
for the
cabinet or anything.
Yeah, we delete it to make room for new audio. Sports are always moving forward. There's always a new press conference, a new highlight, a new soundbite. So, yeah, old guests, they get eliminated. We don't have Sam Mellinger's open anymore.
This is Kansas City. Y'all bring back guests. This is Juju comes back.
Yeah, then we'll have a welcome back.
Tyreek Hill comes back. You know, this
You're not on the team consistently. Juju's on the team.
Do you want him back?
No. I told him yesterday to go be a streamer.
It's kind of crazy that Cyrus Allen has bullied, we talked about this on the show for a while, the wide receiver room needs a dog. They need somebody who's got that alpha presence because Rasheed was locked up at this time. And now a fifth-round rookie is coming in and establishing himself as wide receiver 1, according to Steve Smith Sr.
Do you think that's because people really love Cyrus Allen, or you think that's because people dislike their other wide receivers?
They dislike their other options. It's like when you're unhappy in your marriage and you go to work and you have that little work flirt where it's it's a distraction from everything else that your reality is.
Can I tell you something? I love it.
All I get is everything Minion related. Everything Minion.
I like how
under the
just
sun.
30 minutes ago you said you had to put childish things away, and now you're telling us that you and your wife were watching Despicable Me 4 together. What, the Odyssey was sold out? What, couldn't watch that?
I wanted some cheap laughs.
Oh, I understand. No,
I
got
wanted
it.
some physical humor,
I got it.
And they're really cute.
No, I'm with you. I support it. I want you to be happy, whatever you do.
I like to watch comedies when I go to the movies, especially if it's a couple thing. Comedy kind of splits the middle. She wants the chick flick. You want the action movie. Comedy is right there in the middle where y'all both get a little something of what you want, and you kind of go on with the evening.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the last movie that really made you laugh? I watched No Hard Feelings a couple of weeks ago. I had seen it before, but I watched it again. I kind of forgot how funny that movie was. I really enjoyed it.
I'm not well watched. I'm really not well read either.
You don't really watch sports either. I'm starting to wonder how your career has gone the way it's gone. You don't like pop culture, don't like sports.
I love music. I'm going to a concert tonight.
Yeah, we are going to a concert. This is our second concert together.
I'm excited. You're a fun person to see a show with. It's good to see you out of your element because usually, you're always on. You're performing.
Oh, this is going to be different. I got a place to sit during this one. Oh, I'm just going to be chilling.
This is the oldest thing you've ever said.
I'm just going to be chilling.
Sit.
I'm going to be chilling during this. I love a good place to sit.
A place to sit during the show. I'm going to be standing up the whole time.
You are. I'm not going to be standing up the whole time. I don't plan on standing up the whole time.
There's no opener. He's just going straight into it.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's going to be standing there singing about how he lost his virginity. I'm not standing up for that. I've heard that song before. I'm not standing up.
You'll be singing it at the top of your lungs.
No, I will not be participating in that activity. What was your first concert?
It was a country concert, actually. Cole Swindell at Summerfest in Milwaukee.
How did you end up at a country concert in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I really
when you
played.
grew up in Atlanta.
I'm glad you got this story because this is a bad one. Me and my mom, we travel a lot. She has a side gig for Delta, so we'll go wherever, anytime, free on standby. And we were just in Milwaukee visiting family, and my mom was like, "Oh, this other event is also happening, this music festival." And she was like, "Wow, Usher is on here. Usher is one of the headliners."
You were excited. These are your confessions.
I went down the lineup. You know how the big print is Usher's in 18-point font.
Yeah.
I'm down in the 8-point font. So I'm like, oh my God, there's this small country artist that I like. They were performing at the same time. I went to Cole Swindell instead of Usher for my first show.
You didn't go see Usher.
I did not go see Usher.
Speaking of country, have you heard any of the Pat McAfee album?
Unfortunately, I have.
Okay, you have heard it. Okay.
Yes. Unfortunately, I have.
I was going to make sure because I was going to play it if you hadn't heard it.
No, go ahead.
Because you're always telling me to expand and listen to new music.
This is not what I mean by expanding.
I'm not really interested in expanding and listening to new music. But you click play on the Pat McAfee album.
No, it's being discussed as a fantasy punishment in one of our leagues that you have to...
I don't think it's that bad.
Dot.
I'm serious. You like the new Jack Harlow album. You can't judge music to me right now.
Jack Harlow is a musician.
So is Pat McAfee. This is Pitbull and a mugshot.
Smoking coffee, no cream. Scroll the feed, see some tweets on some crazy ass scenes. Trying to get to some money with our Powerball dreams. Cause when bills start stacking, we all feel the heat. We all hate the same folks. Mostly lame bros. All the
this is not much different than what you told me you went to go see in your first concert.
Unfortunately not.
Smoke up and light up all the shady. Yeah, I got a Pitbull and a mugshot.
It was kind of good. It sounds like Jelly Rolls.
This is what I envision is going to be on like the alternate halftime at every Super Bowl for like the next 5 years.
This sounds like a song they would put on the Madden soundtrack.
What is he doing?
When you're rich, you can just do what you want to do. That's one of the beauties of just being rich, you know?
I liked Pat for a little bit, but it's getting tougher. It's getting tougher.
Pat McAfee, friend of the show. He's been on here before. He follows me on Twitter.
All right, name drop.
Just telling you, friend of the show.
We get it. You're him.
We show respect on this show. Another friend of the show. So when I invited Aaron to come on the show, and I said, "Hey, Aaron, you're allowed to come on the show. It's your birthday, of course." And he said, "Can we talk about Stephen A. Smith?" And I was like, "I mean, if you want to."
It's our birthday. Let's just.
It's
clear
your
that
birthday.
up.
It's not my birthday.
We were both born on August 20th.
It's not my birthday yet.
Yeah, man, the Stephen A. Smith thing, it rubs me wrong. I'm a longtime member of NABJ. I was a member of KCABJ when I lived here. Our friend Harold Kuntz is the president out there. This was my 12th NABJ convention. I actually won a national scholarship through NABJ when I was in high school to go to Mizzou. So, like, I've been around NABJ for a very long time. I know the strengths and the weaknesses of the organization. I was on the ground when this hit social media this year about the Thumbs Down Award. First and foremost, all the homies around me were like, "We have a Thumbs Down Award?"
It's like the first year they've ever given it out.
They gave out 5 of them. It happens at this like Salute to Excellence gala that happens every year. Tickets are more so in your price range than mine, so I never really make an appearance. To me, what this comes down to is family business, Dot. Like, there are certain things where, yeah, there might have been points on both sides. Both sides feel like they have things that they want to hash out. But ultimately, this needs to happen behind the scenes. The fact that it's happening in the limelight, now it's being turned into content. The bots are on it now. There's opinions and people who are voicing their side of the story that really, they don't have a piece of this pie. You ain't in on this gumbo. This isn't about you. Stephen A. has not been perfect. And I think when you have a platform as large as his, it's difficult to please. It's impossible to please everybody. Not everybody's going to be happy. And I don't think it's a coincidence that in the aftermath of this, now we hear about his deal with the HBCUs and he's trying to give up. But Stephen A. has been someone who's led the charge for black voices in media.
I don't like that he asked the director to come on the show and then she said, "Let's talk about this privately." To me, you can't publicly criticize me. I then welcome you onto the show and you're like, "Nah, let's talk about it in private." No, that's not how this works.
Also, NABJ does not speak for all of its members when they make decisions like this, whether it's the Thumbs Down Award or the Thumbs Up Award. I'm sure there's people who get saluted and there's Hall of Fame invitees every year, or inductees every year, excuse me. You know, it's just like anything when you induct people into the Hall of Fame. There's a certain percentage. I think a certain percentage of people in NABJ, specifically to sports as well, don't like how Stephen A. has turned. Don't like the way he uses his voice specifically to some of the issues that impact our community. But it doesn't speak for all of it. I think at the end of the day, I wanted this to be something that happened behind the scenes. It's family business.
Another friend of the show, Stephen A. Smith.
And why are you not on his? Why you? Just go.
What do you want me to do? He's coming on before the football season.
We get it. You're a Hall of Famer.
I'm not any of those things.
Pal.
That's my pal.
You got his phone number?
I do, actually. I talk to Stephen A. Smith kind of regularly.
What do y'all talk about?
It's life. I'm actually surprised that he's a good texter. I would never guess, because I'm a terrible texter. I'm surprised that he's a good texter.
Do you think he's actually sending those texts?
Yeah. I'm 100%.
How can you tell?
You can just tell by the way people talk.
Yeah, because when I text you, it takes a couple hours for you.
Yeah, I know I'm not a good texter. I know I'm not. Just like I love Rob. Rob will never answer the first time I call. Now, Rob will call me back within 10 minutes. I'm telling you, it could be Scream 7. If I call Rob, it is going to voicemail. Now, whenever he calls in the ambulance, then tells him what happened to me, Rob will call. Rob will never answer the first time I call.
You got to know some people's strengths and weaknesses.
For sure, 100%.
Like, I've never FaceTimed you. Are you a FaceTimer at all?
I'm getting better as I'm getting a little bit older. I do like a FaceTime.
A little bit older.
As I'm getting much older, as I'm getting into my golden years, I have become a FaceTimer a little bit for sure.
How are you celebrating? You know how I'm celebrating.
I will not be here tomorrow. I'm off for the rest of the week. I'm just taking a little bit of time.
Wait, so you are taking off for your birthday?
Yeah, just taking a little bit of time.
Our birthday.
Yeah, I'm taking off these next 2 Fridays, these next 2 end of the weeks, and then I'm done taking vacation for us at the same time. So it was like a little after her birthday, right before mine, and we would just kind of celebrate our birthday together as a family. But yeah, I've never really been a big birthday person.
But why not? Are you like Jehovah's Witness?
I'm just not really big on like reflecting because just time.
Even if you're not the reflecting type, it's kind of, especially like when people check in, I think it's cool where it's like, oh, like I have new friends and new family and like I've entered a new chapter of my life where like now I'm the same or I'm getting older, but now I have new people around me who want to celebrate me or just celebrate the day and time and space in general. You got to celebrate these things, man. That's another thing about birthdays. Seriously, like you never really know when your last one is going to be. I know it's a little morbid, but realistically, like...
What a way to end this.
Okay.
What a way to end this. Carrington, your time. The Grim Reaper could be coming for you at any moment. We got Neil Smith coming on the show next in studio. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with prominent Mizzou fan Carrington Harrison.
I support Kansas. I want Kansas to win.
On 96.5, The Fan.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's Chiefs season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When a pipe bursts or your AC quits, you don't need a quick fix. You need a team you can trust. And that's Ready Services. They have been that team for more than 6 decades. Family owned and operated, celebrating more than 60 years keeping Kansas City comfortable with expert HVAC, plumbing, and drain cleaning. Get honest repairs at the right price, never high pressure sales at Ready Services. Go to reddiservices.com and get the job done right the first time. That's Ready Services, reddiservices.com.
Listen up, guys. Do you think you know who's going yard today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to prove your baseball expertise with Daily Dingers. Here's how it works. Make your pick on who's going to hit a home run, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a shot at extra winnings. Now, when your favorite star goes deep and knocks it out of the park, it'll feel that much sweeter. Daily Dingers is free to play, and you can lock in a pick every day of the baseball season. And that's why FanDuel is your home for home runs. Get ready to play your game. Make your first pick at FanDuel.com/local. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local to play Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's going yard today. FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door, forward and back.
RENNER. Listen to the Chiefs and Bucks this Saturday with pregame starting at 5 and kickoff at 6:30. All right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you guys. We are expecting to have Neil Smith join us in studio here coming up in a bit to get you ready for the football season. There's one thing I want to talk about before Neil joins us in studio, and we'll get to that here. So we haven't talked a whole lot about it this year just because I don't think any Chiefs player is going to be very high up on the list this season, but the NFL Network is doing their top 100 list. And on this list, they had Patrick Mahomes. He was 18th on the list. And I was really conflicted on how to feel about this because I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the National Football League. I firmly believe if every player was available via draft, I believe that Patrick Mahomes would be the number one overall pick. But it's kind of hard to argue after last season, after the numbers of the last 3 seasons, it's hard to argue that Patrick Mahomes should be number one on this list. So I want to play for you guys what Andrew Hawkins had to say. He was on ESPN's Get Up, and they were talking about Patrick Mahomes and where we currently sit heading into the season.
The reality is they weren't scared of the Chiefs a year ago because they didn't have the receivers. Their offense wasn't as good. And so they were a team that didn't make the playoffs. Matt Stafford would never be as highly ranked as he is now had he not left Detroit and gone to the Los Angeles Rams. That's the reality for him, even though we agree Mahomes, quarterback number one, he's on his way to possibly battling Brady for best all time. But it is a what have you done for me lately kind of league.
That was Andrew Hawkins on ESPN's Get Up. I am a little bit torn about this with Mahomes, and I am curious to get you guys' thoughts on this. 913-586-7965. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes is the 18th best player in the National Football League. I don't think people in the NFL think that he is the 18th best player in the National Football League. I still believe he is the best quarterback in the league. His resume is second to no active player that's currently in the league. I do believe that he is only chasing the ghost of Tom Brady and the ghost of Joe Montana. I believe he is a top 5 quarterback in the history of the league and still climbing with where we are here. So on one side, I think that Mahomes is the best player in the league. And I think that if you are making a list, it is silly to not have Mahomes near the top of your list. On the other side, I can't argue or can't contest why you would have him at 18. I think Mahomes and the Chiefs both need a season to show you that they are still the Chiefs. They need a dynamic season. They need a year in which Mahomes gets back to looking like Superman. They need a year in which the offense is back to being top 10, not 21st like it was last year or 15 and 16 the 2 years before. This team needs to get back to winning the division. I do think that in the NFL, it is a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and people move on. And the Chiefs just right now, they just are not the flavor of the month. Denver's the flavor of the month. Buffalo is that team. Houston is that team. A lot of other teams in the AFC. I think the Chiefs are certainly in the mix. The Chiefs are certainly in that conversation. But some of the shine has worn off of the Chiefs heading into the season, and they got to get it back. And the only way to get it back is by playing well and winning a lot of games. And you get the chance in week 1 against the Denver Broncos, a team that last season broke your streak of winning the division. Right now, we're happy to be welcome in studio. Neil Smith joins us in studio. Neil, how you been, man? It's been a while.
I'm good, Carrington. Where have you been at, my man?
I'm always around, Neil. How you been, man?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm blessed to be alive, man.
Neil, you look good, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I've been all right.
All
not
right.
bad. Not bad for 60.
For sure. Absolutely, man. So a lot to get to, a lot to kind of get your opinion on heading into the season. Let's just start with this. How are you feeling about the Chiefs heading into this season? A lot of turnover from last year's roster. Where are you at with the Chiefs as we're heading into this season?
Well, not a new faces, which is good in the sense that I think the Chiefs is I think they're on track of as I would say, kind of like a rebuilding year, because when you get new faces, you get, you have to learn those players. And I just think that they in the right spot right now. And as you said just now, and coming in is that everything goes when Patrick goes, and the most important things is keep him upright and, in the pocket and feeling comfortable coming off of, the injury that he's had. And he's so far ahead, of having his surgery. And I mean, when you do that, the most important thing, you want to get that hit out the way, that hit that know like, oh, okay, now I can take that and then move to the next thing, because if you don't, then you allow yourself to then, go, I'm still not the same person. So I think it's going to move into a little bit progressively. Denver is, coming in there on a Monday night game, and it's going to be a game that, they're going to have to play to their best potential.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Neil Smith, Chiefs Ring of Honor, one of the best defensive players in organization history. I'm curious, as a former player, and back in your generation, you guys played in the preseason. Preseason was not optional for you guys. It was a formula. You play a little bit in the first game, you play a half in the second game. It kind of built up that way. Yeah. That's not how today's coaches kind of use preseason. Yeah. Where are you at with the importance of preseason? How much preseason do you think these guys need?
To be honest with you, I think they're more protecting the players now than they ever did, in our day incoming, because injuries. The game has changed so much where, physicalness is not part of it. More staying more healthy and basically keeping your players to the end to try to get them in shape and then get them to the next level as far as them allowing themselves to progress towards the game. I just think that you need a little bit more hitting, for them. And I know I think they went like 8 days in camp one time this year, and in pads, and we don't know if that's short to shoulder pads or full pads, but seems like, that's just the way that's just the way it changed now. It's not that old, that old school football, the Marty ball, where, you got 5 weeks of camp in 3 days, and you playing offense, and you playing 5 weeks with full pads.
Those days had to be miserable. I know you're a football player, and part of it's toughness and mentally having to pull through. Some of the practices, and I've heard the stories from you and Dana and the guys, just sound like miserable days.
Oh my God, man! I'm just saying, I used to always tell people, I can give you my job, and you couldn't do it and I really meant that, because if you can get past camp, then you can play football. Camp was the thing where, okay, mentally, physically, and you had to get over it. It's just like, you know what you're going into, you know how long it is, and then you're going to hit that wall. And when you hit that wall, where are you at? How can you come out of it? A lot of guys didn't do it. A lot of guys, when they shut the lights off, they left and walked out the door and never been seen again. Some people got cut and never seen them again. But the ones that stayed, those are the ones that, actually can show that, I can survive something more than that, than a good thing to come out and then start playing on playing on Sundays and then winning. That's just started the trend to where we were at, back in the 90s into now.
What's the number one piece of advice that you would give a young pass rusher? So the Chiefs have R. Mason Thomas, and I think Chiefs fans have a lot of expectations on him this year. You were once that young pass rusher looking to make a name for yourself in the league. I'm sure you've given some young guys some advice. What's the number one piece of advice? What do you try to pass to this next generation?
Well, I think the main thing and the main objective, you got to study. You have to open up your ears, and you have to learn from, the guys that's, like the Chris Jones that's there, and the Crawfords that, been there and know how to. And you have to watch those guys. You got to watch them, and you got to mimic some of them, but then you got to put it in yourself. Then how can I go to that next level? And I think, studying opponents have a lot to do. But the main thing, when you're young like that, you just want to make the team, and you kind of feel like that in the beginning. But now I think they're using more younger players, straight into the league right now, throwing them in that position. It's good to do. But as you know, when you grow like that, it's going to take you 2 to 3 years, to even find yourself that you can actually do this. And you can either learn it early or you can learn it late. Derek was one of those early bloomers that blossomed to where he was a superstar and he just did that. He was just one of those rare guys that can come off, a college team and get on a pro team and make a sudden impact right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at your career, and, there was a clear progression. You got more sacks in each of your first 6 seasons. That's a guy that year 1 took a big jump year 2, and then you kind of maintained. When was the point in your career where you felt comfortable? Like, hey, I understand this league. I know what I can do well. I know what my role is. I know I can execute it every Sunday.
I would think it was probably year 2 or year 3 going into it. I felt a lot better to what I really was feeling the game out and knowing the position, knowing what's expected of me. And then each year I just try to make it, set the goals for myself, personal goals, where you can then meet your certain goals and then surpass them. I really felt like, it was for me to get everything out of the position. And I love that part of it. But the main objective is that, getting better every year. And every year, if you can get better, every year you expect to make plays and to be an impact player. And, we had a lot of those in the 90s. We had a lot of impact players in the secondary, of course, on the line, and then, our linebackers. So we had a good, solid, defensive team where we respected each other. And the main objective is that we trust each other. Anytime when you play, playing the game, and we see this over and over again, that, you almost have to trust the guy that's just next to you. And younger players, they really don't understand. Trust that man that he'll be there, do your job to the fullest extent, and then, then the defense can unfold.
Right now, we're joined by Neil Smith. He is in the Chiefs Hall of Fame, Chiefs Ring of Honor, one of the more prominent defensive players that the Chiefs have ever had in their organization. The same way that Peter Woods can rely on Chris Jones, who was that person for you? Who was your OG? Who was your mentor player that helped you along early on in your career?
Well, I had, of course, I had Bill Moss, that was the nasty one out of all of them, that, that was the guy that said, hey, no respect to no other player on the other side. Mike Bell, he played a key part on them, where, Boogie was one of those guys that he was very slippery and agile, as an older guy, and can play the position and impact. But I kind of learned, I learned a lot, even though I was a year ahead of Derek, but I learned a lot from him because, the way he approached it was just totally different, because he had that elite skill where, he can, he had that dominate, fact that where he can, take over a game and really prosper from it. So that was the challenge, and then when I would challenge him, I was challenging myself, actually, and we just made fun. We had fun with it. That's all.
Right now, we're joined by Neil Smith. Who's the player that you get asked about the most after Derek? Like, you and him are just linked together. You're tied forever. It's a 1A, 1B peanut butter and jelly situation. I'm sure you get asked about other teammates. Who's the other player that you get asked about the most?
Well, a lot of people was very interested about Danny Salamore for some reason. Well, we call him Low. Danny Salamore was one of the guys that, I'll get a lot asked about, like, how's he, what's he doing, where's he at, because Danny was a big man, back then. He's small now, but, he was a strong, physical, nose tackle, very slippy, wasn't very tall. But he was, he was agile. He could move and he can drop his knee and, split the double team and pop up and make a play. And every time the ball was on the ground, looked like he was Hoover. They named that little Swiffer after him. He would just jump on the football like every single time. If it's on the ground, Danny got it.
The player that comes up the most whenever we kind of talk about players from your era is Dale Carter. Everybody just has a Dale Carter story. Dana Hughes says that he's the second best athlete he's ever seen behind Deion Sanders, which just, how great Deion was as an athlete.
I'm going to go one better. He's the best athlete I've ever seen that I played with. And I played with a lot, even Derek Thomas. I would say Derek won. He A+2 or whatever.
What made Dale so special?
His effortless. I think he was just very effortless. He was very athletic, man, and and he had fun doing it. It was just like almost like a kid in the candy store playing, and knowing he got some bubble gum in that one, and I got to go over here, I can give you some of this, and he just made it fun. He never once lost his energy or his stride to where the game wasn't fun for him. he made it, he made it excitement, even though, and you can just hear him talking all during the game. He never stopped talking. He never stopped running. And then, he could play both sides, and he just kept that level of competition so high, man, where, man, I wanted to know, what was he really drinking? Because I want some of that, I wanted some of that energy he got. And, when we made sacks, you can guarantee Derek Carter going to climb the top of your head. I mean, he coming from the top rope like he was, one of these wrestlers, man, and give you a high five. And that's just the way he was, man. He just had that energy where I just loved that in him. But a lot of number of players that I played with, of course, there's Hall of Fame guys that really is, deserving it. But those are the guys, that you can just say, hey, man, they 8-1, 8-2, but he probably was one of the best I've ever played with.
Yeah, now that we're so far removed from your career and your time, do you guys maybe understand how important you were to the fabric of the city and kind of creating the culture that was the Chiefs? That obviously this current group of Chiefs, they've taken it to the next level. They've won championships. They've hosted parades. They created a dynasty. But you start to think about Arrowhead and the mystique of it and what made it an historic building and why people from around the world want to come for the tailgate. That's you. That's Derek Thomas. That's Dan Saliamua. That's Dale Carter. That's Marty Schottenheimer. Do you just kind of think about how important you guys were to the culture and what made Kansas City such a football crazy place?
Oh, it is. I mean, it was a vision that I think Carl had. Carl brought it to where he wanted to bring excitement back to the fans. It's something that, Lamar Hunt wanted as an owner. They had a plan and had a vision. And when you get it from Lamar Hunt, what he was expecting, I mean, this guy was brilliant, man. I mean, he was brilliant beyond an owner, brilliant. And I tell you, when he spoke, he really meant it, that he wanted to bring this here to Kansas City. And that's why there's so many guys that, play for this team, never want to leave, because it's something that's part of you and it's instilled in you where you feel like you don't have to leave, that this is your home. And for me, it's going to be so hard to see if they ever close that stadium up. And when they do, man, it's going to hurt, And I just like, man, it's just historic. A lot of things have happened, the turnaround to where it was and, all the championships that was there. But, they say, my grandmother used to always tell me, some things, all great things come to an end. And that's going to be an end of a really, really big, big moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how sad you are that, we kind of have an end date. We don't know exactly when the last game is going to be, but it's either going to be 2030 or 2031. The Chiefs are moving forward with a new stadium in Kansas. Mm-hmm. You're one of the people that helped build that stadium. You were one of the reasons why Arrowhead is Arrowhead. What is it like to know that we don't have too many more incredible Sunday night football games at Arrowhead Stadium?
It's almost like a countdown. It's like, it's coming, it's going to be coming, and eventually it's going to be an end. And that's going to be, it's going to be some quiet moments when there was always some loud moments there, in the history of our franchise. And what I love about it is that, the people will never forget, especially the people that was in the 90s that got this thing started and up until now where, Clark has got in and have done a great job of turning it around and winning championships, all the things that his father wanted to do. And how you want a kid to, to move in the next in the right direction to your franchise. And man, what hell of a job he's done, over the years to make that happen.
Right now, we're talking to Neil Smith here for a couple of more minutes here, just getting his picking his brain, getting his thoughts as we are heading towards the football season. What's the loudest you remember Arrowhead being?
The loudest I ever heard Arrowhead, it was probably it was a Monday night game. And, of course, it was still early 90s, and we had AstroTurf. And, man, I could just I can hear the impact. I feel it. I've never felt something that it was a humming sound that was coming at you, and you didn't know where it was. But then it would just echo. It's like bouncing off walls. Like, man, where are these people? And they knew they was coming into. I think it was Frisco at the time that came in, and, we beat them like 46-6 or something like that. And they knew it was coming, and Arrowhead was just going crazy, man. And I think that's what turned it around. The fans knew then. It's like, oh, wow, we got a team they're not good, but they're good enough to win, and we're going to stand behind them. And that's how that whole transformation started to come to Arrowhead and to get that name. So I was pleased to be a part of that and build the foundation of it here in Kansas City. What great moments, man. I mean, it's something you can't even take away, beyond a reasonable doubt.
How did you find out the Chiefs were getting Joe Montana? You guys just got information so much differently than we found out.
Well, I didn't really find out. Derek told me. And, Derek was the biggest kid on the block, and he couldn't hold water. But he actually called me. I was like, hey, man, you're not going to believe this. Like, I was at the stadium, and I got an autograph from Joe Montana. I said, what the hell Joe Montana doing in the stadium? And he was like, he's going to be playing with us, man. But don't say that. They haven't made an announcement yet or whatever. So he broke the news to me, and I was like, well, it's pretty exciting. We never had a quarterback at that stature. And, we knew it was excitement that he was going to bring into us, our offense and everything. I just wish he was, his own coordinator, because he that's what he struggled with. He struggled with, taking plays. And if he could have ran it the way he wanted to, I think it would have been a lot more better.
Do you have the Sports Illustrated that you were on the cover of? You're one of the few people I know that's been on the cover of a Sports Illustrated. Back in the 96 when you were on there, that was a really big deal to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
That one was really good. And I believe it was 3 of us that was on that cover.
Yeah, it's you, Gannon, and Marcus Allen.
Yeah. I still have that, and all of us signed it, but that was pretty big, man. I'm like, okay, so you made Sports Illustrated, and, back then it was like Vogue magazine or something making it so, but it was pretty cool, man. It was something that everybody would tease you on. And then, of course, later on in my career, when I moved on, I got the chance to be on the Wheaties box. So, then Wheaties, you make the Wheaties box too?
You got both. You got a Wheaties box and a Sports Illustrated cover. That's different. There's not a lot of people that's in both of those.
But it wasn't me by myself. It was me and my teammates, and that's what kind of guy I was. I was a team player all the time. Yeah.
Do you ever think about how much NIL money you would make now? Like, just think about, like, you now today, you're like a dynamic pass. You ever how much money you would make if you played in now era? You'd be a guy that got like 17, 18 sacks.
Carrington, that is not a fair question to ask me.
Just think about it.
The reason why I'm saying it's not a fair question because I'm laughing at you because I know when I was in school I was broke as hell, and I couldn't even take a girl to the movies and nothing. But now they're giving them millions and millions of dollars. Like, okay, I'm like, where is this coming from? But I've always said it in my mind. I've always thought it in my mind. I'm like, man, I'm playing in front of 80,000 people in Nebraska, and where's all this money going in, and who's getting it? I'm like, well, we ain't getting it, but we're getting great facilities, and we have a place to play. I mean, a place to sleep, and of course, we got the top of the line food, and we got the greatest equipment ever that made, and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, man, I'm broke, So I'm really, it's time, it's time that these players start making money. But I think they might have to put a cap on it because it's getting a little bit out of hand
These
right
kids
now.
is making a whole lot of money. George Kittle was telling this story.
I don't want him to stop now because I have my kid up there in Nebraska this year.
You want him to get paid now.
Yeah, I want him to get a good big payday. And once he gets his little payday, then they can do whatever they want to. But we won't wait till him. But he's going to be his breakout year. So we're hoping that, that they can do well up there. I don't know, Nebraska, they kind of hit and miss sometimes. So. But a lot of pressure on the head coach. He haven't beat a top 10 team and in his career or whatever. It's
George Kittle was telling this story where he one of his teammates made $700,000 in NIL, and then he was an undrafted player. He made $30,000 in bonus. Like, it's just such a big pay cut some of these kids are taking. They're thinking. I think if we really knew how much some of these college players would get paid, it would blow a lot of people's mind.
I do know one that I know for sure was Raiola was making like $3 million a year and decided to leave as a starter.
So now back up at Oregon.
But he's not. I mean, come on. Yeah. To leave $3 million to be a backup. I mean, you got to get paid more than that. I'm sure that's Nike money, but golly, man, I would want to be a backup when you have a starting job in front of you. So I didn't really understand that part of it. But you know what? It's almost like, how can you control your kid? Is that something he really want to do? He want to move on. He want to move on. What made him move on? What made him move off of them to move on? So it's a lot of things that goes into the NIL money, man. That's really they have to get control of it. But yet, it's good for the players, the one that don't make the league, to the next level, and the ones that goes forward. It works out perfect. You get a good head start. And if you can make a pro team, then, you got a building block there forever.
Absolutely. I'll get you out of here with this question because you and I are both Team Gates. What's your Gates order?
Well, my Gates order was always the burnt ends, bro. The burnt ends, and I like.
Have you had that burnt E-Mac where they put it on the macaroni and cheese?
I have not had that.
You got to get the burnt E-Mac, bro. I'm telling you, 2 thumbs up for me.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm so excited to be, on the Gates team, man. It's just a fabulous opportunity for me. Ollie Gates and Mr. Gates, it goes way back when I was living in the plaza, and I used to pass there all the time, man, just see the pitch smoking, and I just couldn't help to stop. It was my dinner on the way home to the plaza because I wasn't cooking every day. And when the very first one grew up, I used to always stop and just peek my head in there and holler at him, "Hey, Mr. Gates, how you doing?" He was always there. He was always polite. And what a great leader, man. A man that really made a mark in this city, in the black community, not just the black community, just a mouthpiece, for Kansas City, where everybody can look up and say, man, you know what, they've had that before, and that's what we need, and that's why I'm loving to join that family. It's never too late, and I'm glad to give me an opportunity where I can take them and we can go together to this next phase.
That is Neil Smith joining us in studio. He is in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. Always happy to catch up with him. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk about the Houston Texans, and one of my preseason picks is falling apart before the season even starts. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive is always streaming live on our YouTube channel.
If you're a bad tipper, that's okay. You're all right. I'm not here to judge you for that.
Just search for 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
T-Mobile is launching something no other wireless network offers. Introducing Nothing. Pay nothing today and walk out of the store with a new phone.
What did he say?
Nothing.
You definitely said something about nothing.
Exactly. Go to T-Mobile, pay nothing up front, and leave with a new phone.
Wait, nothing rules.
She gets it.
Hey, thanks for nothing.
For the first time ever, switch to T-Mobile, pay nothing. No taxes, no fees, no money down. And walk out with a new phone. There are 250 reasons to choose T-Mobile, and now nothing is holding you back.
On eligible devices with qualifying credit plan and 36-month finance agreement.
Hey, it's Bob Fesco. Are high-interest credit cards and rising bills stressing your budget? You pay every month, but high interest makes getting ahead feel impossible. Your home's equity can help. A refinance with Golden Oak Lending consolidates debt into one manageable monthly payment, giving your budget room to breathe. Get a free mortgage checkup today. Call 913-890-GOLD or visit goldenoaklending.com. That's 913-890-GOLD. It's Golden Oak Lending, MLS 114937.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. We have our sump pump special going. $200 off a main pump, $400 off a battery backup system. Call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Look, let's be real for a second. When it comes to performance, good just isn't good enough, just like the teams that we cheer for, and that's exactly why Blue Chew raised the bar for you. Introducing Blue Chew Gold, the revolutionary 4-in-1 upgrade that targets both your brain and your body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves right under your tongue and starts working in as little as 15 minutes, so there's less waiting, more confidence, and a whole new level of readiness. And I've told you before, confidence is key. You know it the same as I do. Get started today at BlueChew.com and see why millions of men trust Blue Chew. Now, with a gold standard upgrade that's changing the game for good. It's not just about function anymore. It's about total performance, both physical and mental. They're turning bedroom performance into an Olympic sport, so go for gold. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special deal for you there. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code KFNZ. That's promo code KFNZ Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety info.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Had a crash way up at 35. Okay, it's going to be southbound, though, as you approach 435. It's the exit ramp, right lane blocked, Kansas side of things. That's a crash off to the right shoulder. Now, K10 East at Cedar Creek Parkway. Scoot to the left there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Josh Simmons from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dog on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, there's two things I want to talk about. And once again, special thanks to our dear friend Neil Smith for joining us in studio. Always great catching up with him. Thing number one, I haven't made my official NFL predictions yet. They are coming. We're about a couple of weeks away, but I've not officially locked in my picks. You'll know when they're locked in. It'll be 5 o'clock. We'll shout out to Jungle Law. I will be here. Rob will be here. We used to have Sean Barber here. Shout out to Barbershop. I don't think he can anymore because he now works for the Kansas City Chiefs. But we'll be here, and I'll give you my 1 through 7 NFL picks. I really like the New Orleans Saints. You have to pick a team to go from worst to first in their division. Last year, there were 2 teams that went from worst to first. One team was the New England Patriots. The other team was the Chicago Bears. It happens every single year. So one of the teams that is in last place from their division last year is going to turn around and win the division this year. These are your options if you're trying to make correct and accurate NFL predictions. That's what I'm in the business of. Jets, Browns, Titans, Raiders, Giants, Lions, Saints, Cardinals. Now, you could pick the Lions. If you're picking the Lions, great. It's a good football team. They had a positive point differential last year, won 9 games. Wouldn't be shocked if they win their division, but that's not the team I'm picking. I'm rolling with the Saints. Rob, over the last 2 weeks, Cam Jordan has gotten injured, Jordan Tyson has gotten injured, and Alvin Kamara is now out for a month. All the guys on the Saints that I can name are getting hurt. The moment I pick them, their season has just fallen apart. It wasn't supposed to go this way. I don't like any of these other teams in the division. I'm not picking Carolina. Look at Atlanta. Atlanta is the most average team I've ever seen. Todd Bowles is second on the list to get fired behind Aaron Glenn. So I have not officially made my prediction yet. I really haven't. And I still use the right to change my picks on anybody. I'll lock it in. It's like when you're messing around on the gambling apps on Sunday and you're trying to figure out what bets, what parlays you're going to have. You reserve the right to change until you press submit. You're allowed to think whatever. The New Orleans Saints, It's falling apart right before my very eyes. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Now, let me tell you a story about the Houston Texans. I like Houston. Everybody likes Houston. They're really good. They have a very talented roster. But, Rob, I will say this. If you were telling me that number one on the list is Josh Allen, it's a put up or shut up kind of season. If you're telling me that number two is Lamar Jackson, so that's the gold and the silver medal. And number three to me is simple. It's C.J. Stroud. I think that Houston has everything you would need to win a Super Bowl. I think they have a very good running game. I like the addition of going to get David Montgomery. I love their wide receivers before this Jaden Higgins injury. He tore his ACL today. He's out for the season. If you're telling me that their top three was going to be Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, and Tank Dell, it's a good unit. I like their tight end. You got to love their defense. They might have the best pass rush in the league this side of the Los Angeles Rams. There's a lot of things to like about Houston. If Houston isn't good this season, it will either be because of A, injuries like Jaden Higgins, or it'll be because their quarterback's not good enough. But they have everything else that you would need. If Justin Herbert was the Texans quarterback, they'd be the favorite in the AFC. If Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback of them, they'd be the betting favorite in the AFC. Hell, I think if Bo Nix was their starting quarterback, I think that the Texans would be the betting favorite in Vegas. I just don't think people believe in C.J. Stroud at all. Rob, of all the teams that you and I have thrown out as possible contenders in the conference, I think there's a chance that Houston has the worst quarterback of all of those teams. I think there's a chance that the Texans, of all the teams that you can realistically think can make the Super Bowl out of the AFC, it is possible that the Texans have the worst quarterback out of all of them. That if they can just get middle-tier quarterback play, can they get Sam Darnold? No one thinks Sam Darnold's a top 5 guy. I don't even know if Sam Darnold's a top 10. He's good. He's proven that over the last 2 years. If they could get Sam Darnold level of production, I think Houston's the best team in the AFC. They ain't got Sam Darnold.
I feel like every year in the NFL, there's a team where we say the following sentence. And by the way, this was once the case for Kansas City. It's no longer that case.
Absolutely
but
it was.
It was, they have positions 2 through 53 on their roster. They're the best roster in the NFL. But can they be good enough with position number 1? I remember the Colts were that way when when Andrew Luck retired. Everyone's like, man, the Colts are great if they can just figure out quarterback. They never could. The Chiefs were that way with Alex Smith. It was, man, the roster is great if they can just figure out quarterback. Alex Smith just wasn't quite good enough. I think the Texans are that team because, and I'm saying this as a Texans believer, that roster, I think, is the best roster in the AFC. Even with the loss of Jaden Higgins today to injury, I think that roster is problematic for the rest of the conference. The question is C.J. Stroud the guy we saw last year? Is he rookie year C.J. Stroud? Is he Ohio State C.J. Stroud? He is the ultimate Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but when he's good, that team is really, really good. The problem is his moments of good are fleeting, and they seem to be regressing quickly.
I think C.J. Stroud has had a very good offseason. After that first year, I didn't really like the way he was moving. Remember that one time where he was trying to little homie Caleb Williams? Remember that time? He was like, hey, man, you just got to stick with it. I'm just thinking, you ain't done nothing in this league yet. C.J. Stroud was moving like he was Patrick Mahomes. C.J. Stroud was moving like he was Aaron Rodgers trying to pass advice. Like, y'all the same age. Why are you talking to him like this? I didn't really like that. Remember that year after he had the rookie season, he then pulled up in the Lamborghini with Amber Rose? I'm like, bro, you're doing a lot right now. You had one decent season in the league, and now you pulling up in Lambos with rappers' girlfriends? I don't like the way you was moving if you was C.J. Stroud. He's had a real quiet offseason. 24 years. We're still talking about a real young player in C.J. Stroud. He ain't 28, 29. He's 24. He'll be 25 in October. So a still young quarterback, still trending upward quarterback. I think there's a lot of things to like about this Texans team. One of the biggest things to not like is their quarterback and if he's good enough. So as we're sitting here and I'm still starting to get my picks together and what I'm officially going to tell you guys so we can track it, the Saints pick is falling apart. Carrington pick of death. And Houston, I don't know if their quarterback's any good, and they lost one of their receivers that I really liked today. I tell you every year, it's the wheel of misfortune. You're going to spin it, and it's going to land on some teams. And it landed on Houston today. That Kansas City is dealing with their own injuries for sure. I don't think they have any injury like this. Maybe you think it's Trey Smith. I don't know if we have reason to believe that the Trey Smith injury is very severe at this point. We still got a while to go. Jaden Higgins ain't coming back. He tore his ACL. He's not playing this season. He's done. Jordan Tyson, he's already injured. He was hurt all the time. He was hurt at the end of college. Now he's hurt at the beginning of the National Football League. He's dealing with an injury. Alvin Kamara is hurt so far. So some of these teams you thought could be good and maybe will be good, they're already dealing with things that Kansas City is not dealing with. Just something to note. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Harold Kuntz. He's going to join us on the show. A lot of football, a lot of stadium stuff to get his opinion on. We'll keep talking football here. Keep it locked in. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Are you looking to get more out of today's MLB action? Well, FanDuel has you covered. Right now, you can head to the FanDuel app and claim a profit boost to use on any bet type for today's game. That's any bet type you want. Money lines, totals, home runs, player props, however you like to play. It's simple. Just tap Claim Now, grab your token, and apply it to your bet before you place it. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Maybe you're backing your team to win. Maybe you like the over. Maybe you're calling your shot and picking someone to homer. Whatever you're feeling, use your boost to get more out of your bet. Visit FanDuel.com/local to claim your MLB Profit Boost token. FanDuel, your home for home runs. FanDuel's the official sports book of Major League Baseball and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country music's biggest selling superstar, Luke Combs, presents My Kinda Saturday Night Tour 2027, playing at Arrowhead Stadium Saturday, May 15th. With special guests Treaty Oak Revival, Avery Anna, Shenandoah, and Wyatt McCubbin. Luke Combs, live in concert in Kansas City. Register now for the pre-sale at lukecombs.com.
The best football contests are back out in Las Vegas with Circus Sports. $30 million in guaranteed prizes, no rake in any of the 3 contests. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $30 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones.
Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Jurnavix suzetrigine begins. Jurnavix is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Jurnavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jurnavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jernavix.com.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a low of 69.
Weather brought to you by Staples. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Telly Tire and Auto Center's biggest sale is back. The tires at cost sale. That's right, you pay what we pay on any in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory. Our certified techs will even mount and balance them for only $30 per tire. All that plus a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. Gas and grocery prices may be going up, but there's never been a better time to buy tires. Reserve yours now at TELLEtire.com before our sale ends. Take care of your car. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
When it's time for a new water heater, trust the team that's been serving Kansas City for 75 years. For a limited time, buy a water heater and get a water filter 50% off. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Still working around that crash that is K10 eastbound as you approach Cedar Creek Parkway. Right lane is blocked, so scoot to the left through here. Downtown, a little slow. I don't see a problem, but I see a lot of yellow. Okay, and then a crash up at 35 southbound and 435 exit ramp right lane blocked. I'm down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell says that it is inevitable at some point there will be an international NFL team. We'll get to that coming up in a bit. All right, two things. I want to tell you guys what my social media obsession has been for the last week or so. We'll do that after this. Rob, I'm starting to think that the NCAA has to quit fighting, because I don't think the NCAA can win anymore. I think the NCAA has to start looking ahead and has to let this process play itself out and then pick a year in which that's when we're going to start the new rules. They cannot win in court against anybody. So I just saw this. There were 15 players who filed a temporary restraining order against the NCAA to return to college football. Rob, some of these players are currently on training camp teams and are playing in NFL preseason games. The NCAA can't keep these kids out of playing college football. One kid, I'm sitting here looking at it. His name is Jack Pyburn. He was an edge at LSU. He was an undrafted player. He currently is on the Tampa Bay training camp roster. He ain't making the team. That's the only reason why you would file a restraining order to go back to college if you are making an NFL team. But he is going to be allowed to play college football this upcoming season because technically, if you were in the class of 2022, you should get 5 years to play college athletics. In my opinion, you cannot undo the damage that has been done in college athletics. You cannot undo it. You have to focus all of your energy, in my mind, over the next 2 years in trying to put together useful and meaningful legislation that everybody has to follow from a certain point. That's the only way I think you can fix this if you're the NCAA. You can't win in court ever. What was the last landmark case they won? They can't keep anybody out of playing college athletics. You're telling me now, this used to be a basketball thing. You're telling me right now Cyrus Allen, if he wanted to, could just go back to college? I mean, he make more money than he is right now playing for the Chiefs. Cyrus Allen ain't getting no money. Now, I don't think Cyrus Allen's going to do that, obviously, but I think you see the point that I'm making. Cyrus Allen, based on these rules, Cyrus Allen could go back to college? No, what are we doing now? What are we doing? No, you shouldn't be able to do that. You are an NFL player now. You have went through the draft process, the combine process. You've been at minicamp. You've been at training camp. You've played in a preseason game. You are a professional athlete. So if you fail as a professional athlete, I'm sorry. That's life. A lot of people fail at what their goal is. You have to regroup yourself and get a job like everybody else has to get. What are we doing now? This guy that just got cleared, Rob, he played on Saturday in the NFL. Now a judge says that he can play in college football in 3 weeks? Come on now. You can't go back. I'm serious. You can't go back. You just got to let the rules be broken for the next couple of years. Let's try to get some meaningful legislation passed and let's move on. One of these guys, Rob, that's just got cleared, he was in minicamp with he's been in minicamp for 2 teams. He couldn't cut it. He wasn't going to make the team in Kansas City. He wasn't going to make the team in Cleveland. Rob, if you wasn't going to make it as a linebacker on this Chiefs team or a linebacker in Cleveland, maybe you ain't an NFL player right now. He just said that he wants to go back to college and they're going to let him. Come on now. We can't be doing this. This is unacceptable. Sorry, it's unacceptable. I know that people are going to blame people like me because I wanted these athletes to get paid. I wanted rules. I wanted structure. I'm happy. I'm happy they get paid. Yeah, I didn't think that we were going to go from. I didn't know we were going to go from having every single rule imaginable where a student athlete couldn't have a YouTube page to now you can do whatever you want. I didn't know it was going to be that way. I'm not saying that your kid's bedtime needs to be at 6 o'clock. I also don't think your kid's bedtime should be at 1:30. There's times in the middle. You can play in NFL games and still qualify to play college athletics. What are we doing here? We've lost the plot. You can just have ringers. We can have ringers now. What are we doing?
Also, and you've pointed this out, football is so different than basketball. A 24-year-old has a massive advantage in football playing 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Or like in basketball, yeah, the 24-year-old is probably better, but like the athleticism gap isn't noticeable. Like, imagine if Mahomes, I got a year left, I'm going to go back and play Tech. He'd dominate. Just what are we doing? I'm sorry, your football career may be over, Jack Pryburn. It might be. You don't get to play again.
Yeah, you need to go to Saskatchewan is where you need to go. No shade, but that's where you need to go. That's where you need to be, my brother. You need to be there. I'm stunned. I'm genuinely stunned that this is allowed to happen. Is it no longer the case where if you sign an agent, you're not eligible to go back to college? No, they got rid of that a while ago. No, you can have an agent. Trust me, these dudes already have agents. That's how they getting his NIL money. That's how they getting his money. No, they got agents now.
And that's how the portal works now. Your agent puts out an availability thing.
For sure. No, you got agents now. So I don't even mind you having legal representation. You're signing financial agreements with schools. You've always should have been able to have an agent in my mind. I don't have a problem with you signing an agent, but there just has to be a line of no return. You have made the decision to be an NFL player. Someone asked, how is this different from Whedon and Winky? They went pro in a completely different sport. Brandon Whedon went to go play college baseball and then decided to be in the NFL. We're not talking about how you can play 4 years of college football, declare for the NFL draft, go through the NFL combine, play in NFL games, and then be like, oh, wait, I want to play college again. No. You shouldn't be allowed to play college, in my opinion. And you can now just pick up ringers. It damages the competitive imbalance. It can't be good. If you're a high school senior right now trying to get a scholarship, why would I take a high school kid? Why would I take the kid that is a star player at Liberty when I can just take a guy who played with the Chiefs last week? Why would I take him? There's no reason to take him. We'll get him in 3 years. We can transfer in. It's a mess. It's just an absolute mess. Speaking of a mess, coming up on the other side, Roger Goodell says that at some point an NFL team will be overseas. Why? We'll talk about it next. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Still working around that crash that is K10 eastbound as you approach Cedar Creek Parkway. Right lane is blocked, so scoot to the left through here. Downtown, a little slow. I don't see a problem, but I see a lot of yellow. Okay, and then a crash up at 35 southbound and 435 exit ramp right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison here. Let me tell you that erectile dysfunction affects more than your sex life. It can impact your confidence, your relationship, your quality of life. But you don't have to live this way. What they'll do at Heartland Men's Health is they have licensed medical providers who can create a specialized treatment plan designed for your unique needs. Because when it comes to this, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Using advanced medical therapies that go far beyond pills, Heartland Men's Health helps men achieve success rates at well over 90%. Many patients are even able to resume intimacy as soon as the day after their appointment. Your initial visit is $99. It includes a medical consultation, testosterone, and PSA testing. And if medically appropriate, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work during your visit, then the appointment is on the house. So visit any of the 3 area Kansas City locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health at 844-447-6600 or visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season long with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB's same-game parlay boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. MLB trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for in client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
We're making all of our season-long NFL predictions during Futures Week, starting August 31st, right here on 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, let's talk about this for just a little bit more, because this is a subject that I feel very passionate about, and I feel now that the players in college make money, this is what I think happened. Actually, let me start over. I think people for so long were perfectly fine with them not getting paid. And now that they get paid and things start to be out of whack, they're like, see, this is why we didn't want them to get paid. When I feel like there is a middle ground in this. I made the analogy earlier. I don't think that your kid's bedtime should be 5 o'clock. That seems really early to me. I also don't think that your kid's bedtime should be 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, there's times in the middle. So, for example, I want to read this. Text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, but what if they left college as a junior to go work for the FBI and then decided to go back? They could do that. So why couldn't they play ball if they wanted to? They are currently trying to create government legislation that would not allow you to be able to do that. So yes, now you could absolutely do that. You could play college sports for 3 years, go off and get a job, do whatever you want to do, and then come back 4 years later and keep playing college athletics. I don't think you should be able to do that. And my biggest problem with these arguments, and why we're talking about this, is to maybe recap it a little bit. So they are right now negotiating. If you graduated in the class of 2022, they are giving you 5 years to play college athletics. Well, if you graduated in the class of 2022 as a high schooler, some of those kids have already graduated from college. Well, some of them now are being able to go back to school. So there was a player who was at mini camp with the Chiefs earlier this year, was practicing with the Chiefs. He filed for this petition. He has been granted the opportunity to go back to college. There is a player who played in preseason week 1 on Tampa Bay, got 2 sacks in the game, that filed a petition to try to go back to college and is going to try to go play college football. I just don't think that should be the rules of all of this. I really don't have any problem with them being paid. I don't have a problem with anybody being paid. But everybody's job has structure. Everybody's job has a rule. I can't just do whatever I want at work. You can't do whatever you want at work. So just because they get paid, I don't think we should create a system in which there's no rules and there's no competitive balance. That's why this entire time I've been arguing, let's just start treating it like what it actually is, and let's start treating it like a true minor league sport, because that's what it is. And college for far too long has tried this balance of still trying to maintain amateurism while also being a professional sports. You can't do both. You can't serve both masters. And to me, college athletics would be better solved if they stop spending all of this money trying to fight these individual court cases and came up with a meaningful piece of legislation that we could eventually follow, and working more towards making the players employees. So when you sign up to play in the NCAA, so you want to work here, you have a certain code and conduct and you have to follow these rules. Or if you don't follow these rules or these guidelines, you can't play anymore. The same way the NFL has. Patrick Mahomes just can't go play for the Cowboys tomorrow. We know that. No, you're a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. We chose you to play for us. You're contractually obligated to do X, Y, and Z. No, you can't play basketball in your free time. We made it where you can't do those things. That's just part of being an employee. That's all I want for these kids.
Someone on the text line says it perfectly. I hate this for the 2022 kids because just because you can play a fifth year doesn't mean you should be eligible for a fifth year. There are players who are now in the NFL who are in the 2022 recruiting class. I have no doubt about that. Like real NFL players, not guys who are soon to get back in. They don't get to go back in just because they can. We have to have some sort of your eligibility is over because you've done blank. It used to be you signed an agent, it's over. They need a new line of demarcation because practice squad guys going back and forth like it's quadruple A sports is a bad system for college athletics.
Somebody says, is anybody doing this in baseball or it's just football? I mean, I don't follow college baseball enough, but I don't know why you wouldn't do it if you're a baseball player. Why would you not do it? It's happening right now in basketball.
Baseball has a different pro selection process.
Yeah, but I'm also saying, I'm with you. But I'm saying is if you have just been in college this entire time and now your option is I got my degree in accounting or I could go back and play baseball in Kansas. Why would you not go play back and play baseball in Kansas? You can now. So everybody should file this. So, for example, Mark Mitchell, who played at Mizzou. He played at Duke for 2 years. He played at Missouri for 2 years. He should be done playing college athletics, but they're giving him now an extra year, so he's filing trying to play. Melvin Council is doing this. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Everybody should do it. What's the penalty? You're going to be deemed eligible to do it. They're not stopping anybody from doing it. No, they're telling you can do it. So, yeah, everybody should do it. If you still want to play college athletics and you're not you got cut from the Chiefs and cut from the Browns. You're probably not an NFL player. Yeah, I understand why you filed this petition and you won today. You just shouldn't be allowed to play. It's that simple. You shouldn't be allowed to play. It's really that simple. Someone asked if I shout out their daughter, Isabella. Happy birthday, Isabella. I want to tell you. She's 12 years old today, so shout out to you, Isabella. Make sure you go to college for 5 years. That's my advice to you. I'd like to give you that career advice. All right, let's switch gears here. I don't want to argue about college athletics all day. I could argue about college athletics all day. I hate the rules that they have because we don't have any rules right now when it comes to college athletics. So, Roger Goodell did an interview. And in this interview, this is what he said, Rob. He said, quote, at some point there will be NFL teams outside of the United States. I have no doubt that this will happen one day. A few thoughts. I think it's obvious that the NFL, they don't think there's a line when it comes to their sport. Right now, it is collectively bargained that NFL players have to have off Tuesday. Everybody gets a day off at their job. They can't practice. They can't play games on Tuesday. You get a day of rest if you're a football player. They now have them playing every day outside of that. They have expanded their international mission. I think they play 11 international games. They play international games to kick off the season now. They got the Cowboys going to Brazil. The international mission is firmly a part of the NFL plan now. They have capped out market size in the United States. They cannot sell me or you any more football. So they are now determined to sell them all the football that they can. And I'm fine with it up to a certain point. I really am. I don't have a problem with some of these international games. I actually kind of like the early international game. I like the 8:30 NFL Network game. It's a good start to the day. Get you going a little bit. You wake up in the morning. You're having brunch. It's a good get the day going. I don't mind the early international game. We're now having conversations about giving them a team. If I'm a free agent, I don't really want to go to that team. What time zone are they going to be in? What country are they going to be in? Do you get a bye week after playing this team? So if they put a team out in London and you're the Dallas Cowboys, we fly there and then we fly back, or we guaranteed to get, there's just so many questions that comes with this. Their greed knows no bounds. It really does. It knows no bounds. I'd rather give them the Super Bowl than give them this. As long as the Super Bowl comes on at a regular time for us in the United States, I don't really care where it is. I mean, I've never been to one before. I mean, I've had chances to go, but I mean, I might go to one in my lifetime. A lot of people will never get a chance to go to one. I understand you can't afford to go to it. I get that. I'm 100% with you. 99.9% of us will watch the Super Bowl on television. So as long as it comes on at 3, 4, 5 o'clock here in the United States, p.m., I don't really care. You can put that thing in Australia. You can put it in Paris. You can put it in a bunch of different places. I don't care. But giving them a team, you know what frustrates me about this? And maybe this is my American coming out. I hate that we accommodate these international markets in a way that they never accommodate us. You got Rob up at 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning to watch the EPL. They do not care about trying to accommodate you in Kansas City when it comes to what they love. Why are we trying so hard to accommodate them in what we love? They don't care about football like we do. We're showing World Cup games in the middle of the day at 2 o'clock so it can be prime time for them. They don't do that for us. They got us waking up in the middle of the night to watch their stuff. They just do what they do. I don't like that. We got to give them a team now. They're already taking games. They already get Chiefs and Chargers. They already get Ravens and Cowboys. Why can't they just do this? They're going to do this anyway. Why can't they just expand the season to 18 games and make sure that every team plays one international game? Put 8 games in London so you can create another season ticket package and another local television market that watches NFL games. Give them 8 games, the same way that you as a Chiefs fan have 8 games or 9 games potentially, depending on what year and alternates, and then spread out the remaining games. And you can play your games in London. You can play your games in Germany. You can play your games in Brazil and all of these other places after you've added another bye week and you've created more games. Is that how we can solve this? I'm very much against the idea of giving another country, if we're not talking about in our time zone, we're not talking about them giving Toronto a team or Mexico City a team. I mean, we're talking about London gets a team. Come on now. This is ridiculous. I understand it. Money, power, I understand all that. I get it. I really do understand all this. How much money do they need? They just don't think it's aligned with the NFL. That's it. They don't think there is a watering down the product point. They don't think there's a watering down the game point. If we can sell it, package it, and ship it out. That's their philosophy. They want a team? No, Roger. Somebody's got to tell you this is too much. Somebody's got to communicate this. This is way too much.
You know what's funny is you mentioned the soccer. A couple leagues across the pond discussed playing regular season games. Both Spain and England discussed playing regular season games for their league in America. Fans revolted and said, no, do not take games away from us in our home country. The NFL's thinking about just adding teams anywhere, everywhere. Super Bowl abroad, who cares? Like, it is funny to see the NFL feels like they are infallible. And to date, they really are. The union doesn't stop them. Fans don't stop them. They just keep chugging along and doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I get this. CDOT, just because Goodell said that we expand doesn't mean Europe. Could mean Mexico or Canada. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a possibility they put a team in Toronto. If they put a team in Toronto, it's not that big of a deal. Toronto is 45 minutes away from Buffalo. It's not that big of a deal. It's on the Eastern time zone. So, yeah, that's fine. If you want to put a team in Mexico, sure, that's fine. They've played 3 games in Mexico in 20 years. They've played 15 in London during that time. To me, when I hear them say international, they are not talking about Mexico City. They're not talking about Toronto, in my opinion. They're talking about Europe. That's what they're talking about. I'm assuming Toronto is a popular football market because there's a team so close to it. So I don't know if they want to put a team in Toronto to take away from it. I think we just learned Vancouver. I don't know if Vancouver's an American sports market. They've given them the sports. It doesn't work there. So I don't know if they're giving Vancouver a team that's also an hour away from Seattle. I think they're talking about Europe is where I think they're talking about a team. They already had a league out in Europe, and they are committed to putting games in Wembley Stadium. So that's the only one that makes sense to me based on how they moved for the last 20 years. I just think this is a really, really bad idea. A really bad idea by the NFL. And an idea that I am not for. Very anti this move. All right. Coming back on the other side, let's get back to talking about the Chiefs. Let's get back to talking about the AFC. That's coming up. Keep it right here, Sir Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 in total. So whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, remember that FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet reset. Summer is here, and that still means baseball season with our friends over at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, FanDuel is your place for home runs. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issue is novel drawable bet reset tokens. Refund from tokens issued as novel drawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund of $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether I'm setting up the ultimate tailgate or hosting a watch party, game day is all about the Chiefs and keeping it stress-free. That's why I go to Hy-Vee. They make planning a breeze with everything you need in one convenient stop. We're talking about tailgate trays packed with sliders, wings, charcuterie, sushi, appetizers, and those iconic Chiefs-themed cookies. Plus, a massive wine and spirits department to top off your beverage order. Let Hy-Vee handle the work. Just order online for pickup or delivery. It's a total game changer, only at Hy-Vee.
Back to school savings start now at Hy-Vee's 3-day sale. Stock up and save big this Friday through Sunday with hot deals in every department. Meat, produce, bread, cereal, and snacks. Want an easier way to shop? Order on the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. Choose pickup or delivery and we'll do the shopping for you. Save time, save money. Shop your way during the back to school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Hop in a John Deere Gator XUV for a day's work. Let's see what's on the to-do list. There goes the tree. And the fence. Not a problem. Because you've got a cargo box filled with solutions. Up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. And you're ready to roll.
The power's out!
Here we go again. The Gator XUV. Built for every kind of workday. Learn more at johndeere.com/Gator XUV. Nothing runs like a deer.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're acquired, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Country music's biggest selling superstar, Luke Combs, presents My Kinda Saturday Night Tour 2027. Playing at Arrowhead Stadium, Saturday, May 15th. With special guests, Treaty Oak Revival, Avery Anna, Shenandoah, and Wyatt McCubbin. Luke Combs, live in concert in Kansas City. Register now for the pre-sale at lukecombs.com.
$30 million in guaranteed prizes you can cash in this football season out in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests. Entries starting at $1,000, all with zero rake. Circa Million, 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Or Circa Survivor, you pick one winner each week, the last one standing wins. And Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $30 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, get free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, biggest problem we've got is down at 435 now. The crash is eastbound at State Line, so westbound we've got some issues as well. So both directions very heavy. Keep that in mind. And then 35 at Antioch. Northbound 35 Antioch, left lane blocked by a crash.
Hey, it's Emma Johnson from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
I'm so happy, so thrilled to be joined by our next guest. His name is Harold Kuntz. He does fantastic work for Fox 4. Harold, how are you doing today?
Good, man. I should ask you the better question. How are you doing today? I hear you got a special day today.
I kind of do, for sure. Happy to have our guy Harold joining us on the show today. Harold, I'm excited to have you on today. There's a lot to get your opinion on. You spent a lot more time at training camp than I did this year. What's your big takeaway as we are wrapping up the St. Joe portion? What are you going to remember from Chiefs training camp?
That in, 10, 15 years from now, when Cyrus Allen finishes up his Hall of Fame career, we need to book a trip to Canton. No, I'm joking. But I'm not kind of joking in the sense that he has been the biggest standout of all the camp practices I've been to. I don't know if it's just because out of the ones I've been to, he always stood out. He was always doing something. Even when he was, he was injured for a little bit there, but when the pads came on, you still saw some of the same traits and tendencies that you see from a receiver, and I think that's just the one lacking piece from this Chiefs offense that could make it really go, because we know there's going to be more of a focus on the run game. We've seen the screens to Kenneth Walker. We've seen the depth they have with DeMarcado there. Once they get that pass protection thing really figured out with the running back scheme, and they're going to be a good offense under Patrick Mahomes, considering that he stays healthy, which he's been healthy throughout the entire camp. So I really like the addition of Cyrus Allen. I think that they've got some go-to receivers now with his addition, and that's going to make the offense tick. The other part of it, the defensive side, I still have my questions. Just in the secondary, it looks like there's still going to be a lot of learning process. And when they get into live action in real games, we're going to have some questions about how that all fits together. And I think the coaching staff has questions too. So, those are the biggest takeaways outside of course, Patrick Mahomes being fully healthy. Those are my biggest takeaways coming away, at least for the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Do you have more questions about the Chiefs wide receiver room or the defensive line?
I would say wide receiver room. I do like the defensive line depth better than the wide receiver depth. I'll put it that way. I do feel like that now, like last year when you saw Chris Jones, have to play a large percentage of plays, much more than he wanted to. I don't think we're going to have to see that this year because of Peter Woods, because of R. Mason Thomas. I think Felix Anudike-Uzomah's had a great camp. He's really impressed, so that's going to help the edge rushing ability a little bit there, along with Ashton Gelati if he stays healthy. So they've got some pieces there that can move around, a little more depth. And the biggest depth is with KT there and Tonga in the middle as well. Like, they've got the pieces now where they can give Chris Jones a little bit of break so that he has much more burst when it comes to those plays where they really need him to step up and be himself. So I do like the defensive line depth better than I do the wide receiver depth, but that's only because really it's more so because the run game is going to be such a key part of this Chiefs offense. We've seen all the under center action. You're seeing under center in 7-on-7s. You're seeing under center just in 9-on-7s. Everywhere you look, it's all emphasized under center. So they just need it. If the Chiefs offense is basically telling you, like, we just need two really good, competent receivers, and I think Cyrus could be one of those, along with hopefully one of Rasheed, if he gets back in football shape, Xavier, if he gets back, if he stays healthy, Tyquan Thornton, if they can untap some of that potential that's there, that people saw him to be a first-round pick. So that's where I stand right now, at least for the defensive side. I think I'm a little more confident there than I am in the receiver room.
Right now, we're talking to Harold Kuntz. He is with Fox 4. Harold, let's go back to the wide receivers. Let's go back to Cyrus Allen. We've been asking people this question. So I'll give you 50 on the low ball side. I'll give you 50 on the high ball side. So you just got to get a range of where you think Cyrus Allen, yards-wise, going to be. What number would you settle in at? I'm at about 325, I would probably settle in at. I could see him having 318. I could see him having like 371 as well. Could he get to 400 or higher? Yeah, but I think some injuries kind of have to happen for him to move up the depth chart. I just think when we put the whole pie together, Kenneth Walker's going to take up a lot. I think Rice is going to have a decent season this year, contract year. He's looking to get paid. This is a very important year for Xavier Worthy. You still got to factor in the yardage that you think Travis Kelce's going to get. I'm just not sure that there's going to be a whole lot of the pie left for Cyrus Allen. So that's where I am from a numbers perspective. Where are you at?
My number is, I'd say go over 400 with the number for sure. But I do it for this because you mentioned injuries. I think all the receivers are at one point or another are going to deal with an injury throughout the court. Rasheed's going to deal with an injury. Xavier's going to deal with an injury. Tyquan's going to deal with an injury. Cyrus is going to deal with an injury. Nico, Andrew, whoever else make the final 53 at receiver, they're going to deal with injuries. And then you mentioned Travis Kelce, who looks like he's found a little bit of fountain of youth. He's looked very good during camp, throughout all practices. Really, he's been very consistent, as you would expect. He should look good during camp because he's Travis Kelce. But think about it. If you're talking about Kenneth Walker, then what we're seeing more 12 personnel. We're seeing more 13 personnel. We're seeing a little more Noah Gray. If not more so as a blocker, he might be there to be another option. Do they want to keep 4 tight ends? So I'm really interested in see how many tight ends, running backs, and wide receivers, all the skill players. I'm really curious to see what the ratio is and what they keep. And that's going to really dictate what they do from an offensive standpoint. But I think Cyrus Allen has full potential to be over 400 yards receiving. He'll take advantage of his opportunities. He's good at getting the ball at a high point. He is really good at he knows the boundaries. There's a lot of things he's doing as a rookie that you would think he might struggle in, but I think he's proving to the coaching staff each and every day that there is a real talent there. There's a real knack for doing things at a mature level. The only thing now is just making sure that if they can get him the ball, don't just make him one of those guys that's, all right, you do this and you do this, and that's what you're responsible for. I think that's what they tried to do in the past, but under wide receivers coach Chad O'Shea, I think things are going to change a little bit in that sense that, like, hey, if you're doing this the right way, go out there and do it. So, and I think he has a real opportunity early in the season to kind of set that tone to be a part of that can really emphasize and do things good for the Chiefs offense in order to make this thing progress. But make no mistake, as you said, this is going to be still a much more run-led offense, mostly because they don't want Patrick Mahomes having to do too much from his standpoint.
Right now, we're talking to Harold Kuntz. He is with Fox 4, just getting his thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs. He spent a lot of time at training camp. I am conducting the Emmett Johnson bandwagon. I think this is going to be a little bit more 1-2 than it's been in years past. Obviously, we know who the number one's going to be, but I think Emmett Johnson might end up being a bigger factor in the offense than we've kind of discussed over the summer. I really like what I saw from him in the preseason game number 1. And you mentioned under the center, more of a commitment to the run and balancing that out to try to keep Kenneth Walker fresh. Are you going to join me in the Emmett Johnson bandwagon?
Yeah, he certainly runs hard. It kind of reminds me of Pacheco's rookie year, honestly, the way he's running hard. He's not going to, take a bite out of the grass or take a grown man's job type thing, but he definitely has that mentality. The only thing I would question about him is just the pass protection. He's still got some work there to do. And once he gets that, I can see him toward the end of the year being a real good, viable option somewhere where the depth is necessary. If somebody gets, nicked up in that running back room, and he's ready to go toward the end of the season when he's got everything down pat and got more to trust. no pun intended with Pat, but everything down pat and more of the trust with everything to do with the offense, I could definitely see him making a bigger impact toward the end part of the season rather than the beginning, especially since they'll need somebody. And, Andy Reid's always said you can't have enough running backs, and I think they've got 4 that they do like. Now, we'll see again what they do in terms of, putting the roster into the 53, but everyone has a trait that can be used. I mean, Mari DiMarcado has his traits. I think he's underestimated too, just because, he's been stuck in Arizona for a while, and he's even said it himself, like, wow, like I'm in an actual professional offense. And that's no offense to Arizona, but I'm sure he was like, yeah, I mean, come on, I'm in Kansas City, not Arizona anymore. So let's not underestimate what he can do. But I feel like at the end of the year, Carrington, you're looking at Emmett Johnson being much more of an impact. Maybe at the beginning of the year, it's a little slower to get involved in what they do offensively. But toward the end, I can definitely see him getting a few more carries.
Harold, what do you make of the Chiefs bringing back Cam Jones? What role do you think he could have on this team?
I mean, linebacker. I mean, that's the role. I mean, we knew going into camp there's 2 set linebackers, Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton. Everything else was up for grabs, and that shows me they need somebody in there to help out. I mean, Jack Cochran's dealing with an injury. Cooper McDonald's more of like special teams, but somebody that they don't know about that weak side spot. And I mean, if they got somebody that knows the system, why not bring him in and give him a shot? Now, do I think he's going to be that guy per se? Like maybe he's that special teams guy that Dave Toub needs. Maybe he's that other linebacker that they need. But I mean, he's already in there with the twos. Now I know there's some injuries going on, but he's already in there twos today, and he just got in from off the street. So yeah, they say the same thing about Emmanuel Ogbah too. I mean, that also means they need more defensive line depth. So they just Ogbah's a veteran there. It shows they need the veteran presence, just like Cam Jones. I mean, a guy that knows the system. They're kind of telling you what they needed. It's like, we still need another piece in those positions, that defensive line and linebacker. Those guys can help, or at least if they can't help there, they can definitely help in special teams as well. So somebody that they need. I mean, it's just like they had 2 linebackers really going to the camp. We haven't really had a solidified third. We're underestimating how much of a loss Chanel is. And, I think they sense that too. So they're just going with somebody that knows the system, at the very least, to challenge some of these guys to get better because, you're going to see a lot of nickel if they can't get anything going with the third linebacker spot.
How would you rank your confidence between FAU, R. Mason Thomas, and Ashton Gelati?
Based on what I've seen at camp, FAU I would have moderately high confidence in. His get-up is a lot better. I think all the coaches have mentioned that. The get-up's a lot better. He looks more motivated, and obviously something with a contract season or something of that nature will do that to you, knowing that, you got to really take this thing serious now. It's starting to click a little bit. You can tell, like, he's got some moves he can go to now. It kind of reminds me of the opposite of the Kwame Brown speech from Stephen A. Smith. It's like he hasn't committed anything to memory. Well, like, he has committed some stuff to memory now. You can tell that he's starting to commit some things, and the bull rush looks better. The get off looks better. Ashton Gelati, we haven't had too much of a read on him yet, mostly because he's been dealing with a hamstring injury. He got injured again today, so we saw FAU in, but there's no hesitation to put FAU in. And, when you got a guy that you invested first-round draft stock in, he's got to produce. And I think he knows that. I think he's been a little more motivated, spent a lot of time with George Karlaftis over the offseason, as he told us earlier this trick camp, and said to himself, like, hey, this is it. I mean, it's my time. And it's not like I'm putting pressure on myself, but I got to go out there and prove it to my time. And R. Mason Thomas, again, another guy with a quick get-off as well. I don't think he's been the guy that people like Peter Woods got the first impression. And then we saw him in the game, and you realize he was getting double teamed a lot in the interior by the Rams, just the way they were doing their base offense. So he wasn't able to show a lot during the preseason, but I still see some good things out of Peter Woods and R. Mason Thomas, but they'll be slowly involved in getting into the defense as well, because this whole defense really, front to back is a lot of revolving, moving parts. And they don't know exactly what yet they have, but at least with Felix, you've got somebody who is a veteran that knows the system. It's like, all right, this is the time, man. You got to do it.
The over-under right now for the Chiefs is at 10.5, which just feels like a perfect number for Kansas City.
Yep.
Would you take the over to the under for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, I got 11. I got him at 11, and I do think that that is the right number. I mean, that's why I'm not a wagering guy, but I know a lot of people are, and I think 11's right on the dot as a good number. And I mean, that's what I see now. I do want to see these first. I mean, like anybody, I want to see how the first few games work out because I mean, obviously there's Denver, but then you look at the schedule, and there's the next three before a really, really, really early bye week. Really early bye week are winnable games. So let's see how they perform. I mean, like, they've got some time to put it together. We know that their best defense really doesn't show toward the end of the season. That's typical with Steve Spagnuolo defenses. They've got some opportunities there. They've got some stretches there where they can really finely tune and put things together and I think show up. And they're going to be no surprise to anybody. So, people still see the Chiefs and they're like, well, they lost a step, but they're still the Chiefs. They're still going to be the Chiefs no matter what. They're going to still see that red helmet, and they're going to be motivated. So, Chiefs got to bring it back. And I mean, the camp worked out in the sense that Andy. I mean, their full pads practice the day before they break camp. Typically, this would at least have been a short stay. Like this is pretty original camp. This has been back to the roots. There hasn't been a lot of frills. Like I think I saw Eric Stone Street one time, and obviously Jason Kelsey was there today. But other than that, there hasn't been any real frills or any sketches or anything. No, videos of people scaring people at their dorm rooms with dogs. Like, this has been a serious camp because it's very clear that this team knows they did not do well, and they've got to turn the corner. So, I mean, I think 11's a good number, but I also think that they think, if they can keep things healthy, it can be better.
That is our guy, Harold Kuntz, joining us on the show today. He does fantastic work for Fox 4. Harold, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you once we get closer to football.
J. Cole concert tonight?
I will be there. Are you going to be there?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, Harold, come on now. You at least got to come out and pregame. You got to have a quick little beverage with us.
That's a possibility.
All right. You know what? I'll give you a call. That's our guy, Harold Kuntz, joining us on the show today. I don't mind going out and having a quick cold one with the Harold Kuntz right before the concert later today. Rob, can I share something with you? Now, I cut this during the commercial break. And we'll get back to serious sports things. I promise you we will. But I have to share this with you. I get down these social media rabbit holes. I can admit that. When your YouTube algorithm gets taken over by something because you search for it and now you just can't stop watching it? That happens to me. That also happens to me on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. TikTok's one of my favorite time-wasting activities. I'm there. I got 10 minutes. I just want a quick laugh about something. I go on TikTok, and I normally find something that's pretty funny. Well, Rob, I have gotten in this Reddit asking questions black hole. I've been in it for now a week. I can't stop listening to these scenarios and these questions. It's basically the radio show that we do. Other people do this. So, Rob, I cut one for you, and I just want to know what you think about this situation. Text line 913-586-7965. You're going inside the mind of Carrington. This is the kind of content that I've been consuming for the last week or so. This is courtesy of the Two Hot Takes podcast. Rob, that's basically what we should rename this show to. Two Hot Takes.
I'm 38 years old, and my wife is 35 years old. We live in a small college town, Starkville, Mississippi. Go Bulldogs. We both met in college. In the same area we live currently. We got married and have a 5-year-old. Anyways, I trust my wife, but I feel like she's going through a midlife crisis. She doesn't go out every single weekend to frat parties, but last month she went out 2 times to a frat party, and she goes to the local bars/clubs around here sometimes by herself or with her friends, and she comes home drunk, like very hammered some nights, to the point where I have to help her get into bed. She takes a cab, or sometimes I have to pick her up. Since the year started, she has been to 5 frat parties, and she goes to the bars/clubs a lot more. She also goes to college-planned events/concerts that are off campus, like Bulldog Bash. A bunch of drunk college kids at a street concert. I talked to my wife about this, and she said she's just trying to have fun.
Rob, I'm serious. This is the kind of stuff I've been watching for 2 weeks. Rob, what do you think? You're married. I've been out with you in a college town before. What do you think about this?
That's
I have
weird.
my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts for. You're married. I don't know. You're married to a 35-year-old woman. I'm not. What's your thoughts to this? You know what I think? I think she belongs to the streets. That's what I think. I think she belongs to the streets.
I'm going to say, I don't think she's as faithful as she wants you to believe.
That's nuts to me.
It's one thing to like, go out to the bar like with your friends, but like every weekend and to college bars is the problem.
People are saying this is AI. I promise you this is not. Rob, I've sent you this before. This is a podcast. These are people that they submit these questions to Reddit and then they read it. I'm telling you, if that's your wife, I think she's sleeping with other people. I really think she is. I don't think that's normal behavior from a 35-year-old married woman. I think she belongs to the streets. I really do. I think you should leave her there. Can you imagine going to have to pick your 35-year-old wife up from being drunk at a college party in a college she doesn't go to?
Can you imagine picking her up from a student-led concert event off campus?
That's nuts.
Hey, it's like the orientation week at KU, and your wife's like, hey, I'm going out with some of the people to go see the concert on campus. What? You're 35. Stop.
Crazy. You going to frat parties and sorority parties. You can pledge for this. That's nuts to me. That's crazy to me. I'm telling you, I followed this thing. I followed their podcast page. I have so many of these stories. I share them to my friends now every day. That's a mild one. There's some insane ones. Some insane ones that are out there. Well, this might be a once-a-day thing for me until football season. I got to entertain myself. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
They say 40 is the new 20, and that's because guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s are walking around with the testosterone levels of their 20s. If you want that energy drive, the libido of your younger self, then go to Low T Center like the thousands of other men have. Go to FixMyLowT.com and book your free T-test today.
It's Chief season at Harrah's Kansas City. Every Saturday in August, the excitement kicks off at 6 p.m., where every 15 minutes until 10 p.m., one lucky guest will win up to $2,000 in free play. Then at 10 p.m., one grand prize winner will score a pair of Kansas City season tickets. Wear your red, bring your lucky game day spirit, and join us every Saturday in August at Harrah's Kansas City. Big prizes, big excitement. Don't miss your shot to win.
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Hi, I'm Carter.
And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out,
leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
Tune in for the Fan Club Fridays at 1 o'clock with Cody and Gold, presented by Circus Sports. Want your shot at $30 million in guaranteed prizes? Enter one of Circus Sports' premier football contests. Visit circusports.com for details. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, crash 35 north at Antioch. It is the left lane blocked, and you continue down. Okay, that's northbound as well. 35 northbound, that's a broken down vehicle. Blocking the left lane at 67th, so very slow, and then southbound side on look or delay. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, we're going to reset things at the top of the hour. Someone said that I was a clickbait artist about the Chiefs. I just want to lay out how I feel about the Chiefs, and I want to see what you guys agree with and what you disagree with, and that feels like a good way of having a 5 o'clock drive time discussion. What I do want to tell you about the Kansas City Chiefs is we have concluded the St. Joe portion of the year. Rob, you don't have to go up there anymore. Cody, you don't got to drive up there anymore. Alex, you can sleep in a little bit. You don't have to drive to St. Joseph, Missouri anymore. You can stay home. I think there's 2 big takeaways from training camp. Number 1 is, yes, the Chiefs are a little bit banged up right now. There's no question about it. But all of their injuries seem manageable at this point, or when you compare them to other teams and what they're dealing with, not that big of a deal. The Los Angeles Chargers, I mean, it must be in the collective bargaining agreement. They always have to lose a starter at training camp. Their center out for the duration of the year. So the Chargers already have an injury for a player that's done for the rest of the season. We ain't even started the season yet. The New Orleans Saints, a team that I like to win their division. Jordan Tyson out for the next 2 months. Alvin Kamara out for the next month. I wanted Cam Jordan. He's dealing with an injury right now. Christian McCaffrey hasn't practiced for the San Francisco 49ers in a week. So there's some injuries that other teams are dealing with. Jaden Higgins earlier today. Jaden Higgins tore his ACL. Jaden Higgins, I thought, was going to be the Texans' number 2 wide receiver heading into the season. So there are some teams that are dealing with some more serious injuries. If the Kansas City Chiefs injuries are Trey Smith, and I don't think it's serious enough where he couldn't play. I think they're just being cautious because he's a veteran player. And it's Snead dealing with the same knees we know are bad. For the most part, everybody that should be playing is playing. The only person that maybe isn't practicing that you thought would be practicing is Omar Norman Lott. He's been on the PUP list from the very beginning of the season. He's going on the IR. Or he's going to at least miss the first 6-8 weeks of the season. Maybe he doesn't play this year. We'll see how it breaks down. But I don't think from an injury perspective, things are really that bad for Kansas City. It could be a lot worse around the National Football League. Secondly is the Chiefs could have a very good rookie class. We don't know yet. We haven't seen them. But if you look at 2021 and 2022, those were two foundational draft classes. Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, Noah Gray, who's now on a second contract in Kansas City, Trey Smith, who's become a all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber player, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Brian Cook, Leo Chenal, Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, we're talking about guys who turned out to be starters for this team. And one of the reasons why the Chiefs have had so much success over the last handful of years is you were getting $14, $15, $16 million production from guys who were making $2 million a year. Now that you've turned that roster over, and Bolton on a second contract, Creed Humphrey, second contract, Trey Smith, second contract, Trent McDuffie, you trade him to the Rams. You now turn that into a draft pick. George Karlaftis, second contract. You've let some of these guys go, or you've decided to pay these guys. You now got to start that process all over. And now you got to find the next guys who are going to be worthy of a second contract. And kind of how we got to where the Chiefs were last season is how you drafted the last couple of years, and you needed a refresh. You needed to start over. And you need now those guys to step up and assume those roles. And Rob, you and I have talked about this. If you hit on these players at these positions, you really got something. You spent the 6th overall pick on a corner. He can't just be a Jalen Watson type. He needs to be in the conversation of all pro. He needs to be one of the 10 best corners in the National Football League. That's a tremendous value to your defense. There is a chance that Peter Woods is one of the best defensive players in the league under the age of 25 if this ends up working out because of the position that he plays and what his ceiling looks like. R. Mason Thomas, you could use a dynamic pass rusher that grows up to be the next Max Crosby, grows up to be a Aiden Hutchinson, grows up to be a Trayvon Walker type. You could use one of those defensive linemen. Jadon Kennedy, maybe he doesn't turn out to be a star in the same way, but you'll take him being a Jalen Watson type. If Jadon Kennedy turns out to be Jalen Watson, that's a huge win. A guy who can start for you for the next 4 years on a cheap rookie contract, and when it's over, he goes to play for fill-in-the-blank NFC team, and he moves on, and you start the process over again. Emmett Johnson. Let's say Emmett Johnson just turns out to be Isaiah Pacheco. Doesn't have to be worse than Isaiah Pacheco, doesn't have to be better than Isaiah Pacheco. Let's say that's just what he turns into. As a 5th-round pick, the 161st overall pick, I think you live with that if he became Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco's first 2 years, 830 yards and 935 yards. Now, sure, the injury happened. He never really recovered. But the first 30 games of Isaiah Pacheco's career, he was a very capable running back. You'll take that guy as being your number 2 running back. So the Chiefs, as they are starting over, man, this starting over and refresh, it starts with you got to get back to hitting in the draft and getting impact quality players and guys that you think are worthy of a second contract. Because I don't know if that's the case in 2023. I don't think there's any second contract guys on there, maybe aside from Rashee Rice, and he's got his own issues. And how many of the guys in the 2024 class would you give a second contract to? It's Worthy, Kingsley Suamataia, Jared Wiley, Jaden Hicks, Hunter Norzad, Kamal Hayden, and CJ Hansen. I mean, maybe you get one to Kingsley Suamataia. Guy plays left guard on your team. Jaden Hicks, I think he's a good player. Let's see what he could turn into. So you got to turn some of these guys into second contract guys. And I don't mean second contract like a Tyquan Thornton. I mean a second contract like Mansour Delane can be the highest paid corner in the league. And I think they got guys at those positions that we could be having those conversations about. Delane could be very good. Peter Woods could be very good. R. Mason Thomas could develop into one of the better young pass rushers in the league. I think Emmett Johnson could end up being a productive running back in the league. People love Cyrus Allen. What could he be? What could his ceiling be? This has to be the class that gets this organization back on track. Because how the Chiefs won 6 games, is in the way that they've drafted and the way that they have handled free agency over the last couple of years. But this class could be the thing to reset things. You had 2 first-round picks, a high second-round pick. We all talked about going into the draft how important this was, and this was one of those make-or-break drafts for Brett Veach. Well, it's less than a month from the start of the season. They need Mansour Delane. They need Peter Woods this year. They need R. Mason Thomas this year. They're relying on these guys. There are no redshirt years, in my opinion, not with those top 3 guys. And I don't know if you can afford a redshirt year with Cyrus Allen, too, not with the way that their wide receiver room is right now. Coming up on the other side, I want to lay out for you guys exactly how I feel about the Chiefs heading into the season. We'll discuss it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by SWL Injury Law, the Car Crash Kings. It's what they do. Visit SWLinjurylaw.com.
Okay, crash 35 north at Antioch. It is the left lane blocked, and you continue down. Okay, that's northbound as well. 35 northbound, it's a broken down vehicle blocking the left lane at 67th, so very slow, and then southbound side on Looker delay. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let me tell you guys about our friends over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations in town, you are never too far away from that classic Kansas City barbecue taste. They are celebrating 80 years of barbecue. We're talking about a family tradition here, a Kansas City tradition. Stop by any one of the area 5 locations to celebrate. Go in there and get yourself a small party tray. Go in there and get yourself the large party tray. Maybe you're a big baller like Rob. Go in there and get yourself the presidential platter. Get yourself the beef on bun with the crispy fries and make sure that they put the seasoning on there. Make sure you get a slab of ribs. And the next time you're there, I know you usually get the fries as a side, but trust me, get the fries like normal, but you also got to get that burnt mac. I'm talking about delicious, cheesy mac and cheese, and they chop up those burnt ends and they put them on top of the mac and cheese. I'm telling you, phenomenal. One of my favorite barbecue sides in the city. So it doesn't matter if it's a party tray, maybe you're celebrating the end of summer. Football is right around the corner, so you know you're going to be having your watch parties and your tailgates. So you want to make sure you got all your sauces and seasonings and everything you need to get ready for the football season. Whatever your plans are for football, whatever your plans are for the end of the summer, make sure they include Gates Barbecue.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Side at Rob Side Ford. Rob, I smell a grill. What's cooking?
Kevin, the grills are fired up, and so are the deals. Right now at Rob Site Ford, it's the Ford Employee Pricing Sales Event with the best deals we've had in the past 12 months.
Now that's saying something. What are we talking?
Employee pricing on virtually every new Ford on our lot, plus even more dealer discounts on top.
So how hot do these deals get?
Up to $17,500 off brand new F-150s at Rob Site Ford, plus huge savings on Expedition, Explorer, Bronco Sport, Bronco, and more.
Wow, that's 5 alarm hot.
Exactly, and unlike Kevin's Burgers, these deals are coming out juicy.
All right, I walked into that one.
Shop Rob Site Ford, Kansas City's top-rated Ford store on Google. 4.8 stars and nearly 3,500 reviews.
Rob Site Ford, 135th and State Line, or robsite.com.
Buy right, Rob Site.
FanDuel is giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets, up to $1,000 in total. So whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, remember that FanDuel has you covered. Place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet reset. Summer is here, and that still means baseball season with our friends over at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, FanDuel is your place for home runs. FanDuel is an official partner of Major League Baseball and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund from tokens issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Max refund of $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Advent Health Championship is Casey's only PGA Tour event. Whether you're a golfer or you just want to be part of the fun, family-friendly event, see the future stars of the PGA Tour at Blue Hills Country Club, August 20th through 23rd. Ticket information at adventhealthchampionship.com.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sprained wrist, ankle twist, broken thumb can't make a fist, busted knee, surgery, that patch of ice you didn't see.
Where pain starts, Jernavix suzetrigine begins. Jernavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain.
Tendon tear, nose repair, tripping on that broken stair, dislocation, operation, moped crash while on vacation.
Do not take Jernavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jernavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
Joint displacement, knee replacement, fell on marbles in the basement, ladder slip, broken hip, that rock climb where you lost your grip.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jernavix.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This report is brought to you by Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
For a limited time at Go Car Wash, mention radio and get any wash for just $5. Yep, any wash. That's up to 80% off our best wash. Visit Go Car Wash today. It's your time to go shine.
Listen to the Royals and Tigers over on the AM 610 this Saturday with Vern's pregame starting at 5 and first pitch at 6:15 on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, here is where I am heading into the show. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. This is my last day this week. I'm off for the next couple of days. Tomorrow is my 38th birthday. And you know what? I'm just going to take a couple of days. I have 2 more vacation days between now and the beginning of football season. And when football is here, you guys know I'll be locked in for all 17 games and from the beginning to the end of the season. But I'm going to just take a couple of days before we really get going with football, before we really start to dig deep into the football season. So that's where I am. But I wanted to leave you guys with this and something to ponder over the next couple of days. Yesterday, somebody sent in a text message that said that I was trying to rage bait you guys with my Chiefs takes and my Chiefs opinions. Now, I don't feel like I do that. I don't know if the show could be as successful for as long as it's been. If that was the foundation of the show, I don't think that creates longevity. And I also think it's a little bit self-centered to think that I think so much of your opinions that I would say something to purposely make you mad. I don't care that much. I'm just going to tell you what I think, and you can either agree or disagree. That's how the show works, I think. But that's neither here nor there. So then, Rob, as I was thinking about this text message yesterday, I wanted to write out exactly how I feel about the Chiefs right now. Now, that can change. Things can change. An injury can happen. Something could pop up. But this is where my mind is with the Kansas City Chiefs as we sit here on August 19th. I believe the Chiefs are a 10 or 11 win team. I believe that their over-under is almost as perfect as any team in the National Football League. I do not consider the Chiefs to be a tier 1 team. I don't think they're the Seahawks. I don't think they're the Rams. Now, we'll get into why I feel that way. But I think they are a 10 or 11 win team. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are going to make the playoffs this season. I trust enough in their foundation. I trust enough in their quarterback and think that the additions that they've made to the run game are going to open up the offense enough for Kansas City. I also feel that the Chiefs had some of the worst luck that you could possibly have last season. Now, I don't know if they're going to be as good in one-score games as they were 2 years ago, but if the Chiefs are just 500 this season in 50-50 games, that is enough of an increase that I think they'll get to the 10 or 11 win mark, and I think they'll make the playoffs because of that. This is what scares me about the Chiefs and maybe fuels some of this belief and some of the disagreements that we have about Kansas City. Rob, the last 8 teams to make the Super Bowl. So we're going post-COVID. Kansas City, Cincinnati, New England in the AFC, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, the Rams, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Those are the last 8 organizations to make the Super Bowl. I do believe that in today's game, if you were talking about winning the Super Bowl, you need to check these 3 boxes. I think you need to have good quarterback play. I think we oversell sometimes how elite your quarterback play needs to be. I mean, I saw Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl. No one seems to think he's elite. I saw Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl. I don't think he's elite. But I think we would agree that they are good quarterbacks in their system. So that's the baseline. You need good quarterback play. The Chiefs check that box for me, and I know they check that box for you. This is where I think we start to disagree a little bit and why it might come off like I'm not high on the Chiefs. But I'm only looking at them through a Super Bowl lens because that's how we've looked at the Chiefs for the last 8 years, and it's hard to turn that part of my brain off. I think you need really good quarterback play. I think you need high-end weapons and a nasty defensive line. And I think the Chiefs lack in those other 2 issues. I don't think you got to go 3 for 3 on all of those things. I mean, if you do go 3 for 3 on all 3 of those things, you got a chance to be a really, really special team. We've seen the Chiefs check off all 3 of those boxes. They had the best quarterback, they had the best tight end, and maybe the best wide receiver in the league, and they had a future Hall of Fame defensive lineman and a postseason player in Frank Clark that would just always turn it on. They kind of ran through the AFC when they checked all 3 of those boxes. You don't have to check all 3. I don't think Seattle has elite quarterback play. I don't think Philadelphia, but they got good quarterback play. They have elite skill position players, and they got a nasty defensive line that can get after the other team's quarterback. So as I'm taking a closer look at Kansas City and what formula do I think you need to be the last team standing, we got way too many questions about their wide receiver unit for me to think that they can win the Super Bowl this year. They got way too many questions about their defensive line. So I went through, Rob, and I started to go through my best case scenario, my worst case scenario, and what I think the most likely scenario is. But I do want to have this conversation with you really quickly as like a detour about the wide receiver room. There's just too many varied opinions for me right now when it comes to their wide receiver. On the text line, for example, one day the text line will think that Rashee Rice is going to have 1,200 yards. The next day you think that Rashee Rice is going to be in Sing Sing. One day, the text line is mad at me because I think Xavier Worthy is a bust. The next day, they think he's going to be a bust, and that's how Cyrus Allen has 1,000 yards this season and surprises everybody. Nobody really seems to think that Tyquan Thornton's going to be a major factor, and there's varying degrees on what can happen with Cyrus Allen this season. Defensive line, I've told you guys this before. I think their pass rush is just one twisted ankle or one injury away from really, really being in trouble. And I'm going into the season, I just need more certainties when it comes to up front because I know who can get pressure in Denver. I know who can get pressure in New England. I know who can get pressure in Houston. I got no clue who's going to get pressure on Kansas City's team. They all could work out. And that would leads me to, Rob, my best case, worst case, and most likely scenario. The best case scenario for this team is they have the 2022 draft class and the 2021 draft class because where this team is new is Kenneth Walker And maybe where I disagree with the text line, I think they're very reliant on this draft class being good and helping them immediately. That's where they're new. That's where it's fresh. That's where they've infused the new blood. So where you didn't go get a Mike Dana type or bring in one of those defensive tackles, you've now replaced it with the Peter Woods, which I love. You've replaced it with more Ashton Gelati snaps and R. Mason Thomas, and now FAU's thrown into the mix where he was injured last year. So best case scenario is their draft class is the 2022 draft class. That they get a group of guys in which you want their jersey. You get a group of guys that in 4 years, we're talking about having the conversation of you being a Chiefs Ring of Honor guy. So that's best case scenario to me. Worst case scenario is they miss. And if you don't get good R. Mason Thomas, I just don't see how you win the division this year. If you don't get good Mansour Delane and he's not instantly stepping in and he's your number one, I think it's going to be really, really hard for you to win the division. So I think that's the best case scenario, worst case scenario. It really comes down to their rookie class. Is their rookie class a difference maker? Because they didn't really bring in a whole lot of other difference makers this side of Kenneth Walker, where you're thinking that Alohi Gilman is changing things for Kansas City. Or we like Kairos Tonga, but he's a depth piece, quality starter kind of type. The variance to this team, in my opinion, is in the draft class and how good it is from day one or how bad it could be this season. In day one, you knew pretty early on that Nick Bolton could play. I didn't need 2 years to figure out Nick Bolton could play or not. In 5-6 weeks into the season, people thought that Creed Humphrey was the second best center in the National Football League. Trey Smith has been a day one starter for this team and a positive. We've never had to argue about how good Trey Smith is. If they got that from this draft class, they can exceed my expectations this year. So that's best case and worst case scenario in my mind. The most likely scenario in my mind with Kansas City and why I got them as a 10 or 11 win team and why I think they're going to bounce back but not get to the height that they were at because they don't check the boxes of elite quarterback, elite weapons, or elite defensive line. You got to check 2 of those 3 boxes in my mind is I think the most likely scenario is this is a draft class that we like and we feel really, really optimistic heading into next year. I think they're going to have a lot more cap space to take some really big swings next year and not just one big swing in Kenneth Walker. I think they're going to be able to take 2 big swings next year. I think that either Chris Jones' contract is coming off the books or they're going to be able to restructure it in a way where they're going to go into it with a substantial amount of money. I think you're going to be in that same position with Travis Kelce's deal. There is no big contract coming up for the Chiefs to pay. Who do they need to pay? They're not paying Xavier Worthy at the end of this season. There's nobody to pay left. So I think the most likely scenario for this team is we really like their draft class. They got a couple of guys that you like and you could see a future for them and them turning the corner and you're really excited heading into year 2. And then that's where Brett Veach and Andy Reid go out in free agency and they go get the Tyrann Mathieu. They go make a couple of those big time culture shifting kind of moves. And those veterans kind of fill the holes of needing that impact player and help this team potentially get back to where I think they can be in 2027. So I don't think that I have a hot take stance on the Chiefs. I really don't. I think they're a 10 or 11 win team that is going to make the postseason this year. I trust their quarterback. I really do. I don't know how much of the rest of the team that I trust. I don't trust their wide receiver unit. And if you're telling me the hope in their wide receiver unit is Chad O'Shea and Cyrus Allen, I rest my case on where I sit with the wide receiver room. That's not what a lot of the other championship contending teams are counting on heading into the season. And when it comes to their defensive line, how many of their defensive lines does the text line really like? Because the text line's kind of soured on Chris Jones. The text line doesn't really love the opposite side. They don't really love George Karlaftis. So we don't love their weapons. We don't love their defensive line. It's just hard for me to think that that team is winning the Super Bowl this year, even though I think you can make the playoffs with that team. So that is where I sit today with the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's a hot take. I'm happy to have the conversation. 913-586-7965. Tell me where you think I'm right and tell me where you think I'm wrong. I think that's a very reasonable stance to have about Kansas City as we are heading into the season.
I think, and maybe this is where the text line and listeners accuse you of being clickbaity, hot take artist, blah, 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 blah. And where it's they see it differently than you and the national people. And I think it's boils down to this. For years in Kansas City, the sentiment was, we got Andy, we got Pat, we're good. And for years, that system kind of worked. There were questions about this team coming into 2022. You know what they had? They had Pat and they had Andy, and they won a Super Bowl. In 2023, I don't think the 23-3 team was even that good. But you know what they had? They had Pat and they had Andy. And you know what they did? They figured it out, and they won a Super Bowl. 2024, me and you, basically week in and week out in this show, we're like, hey, something's off. I know they're 15-2, but it doesn't feel right. And they were like, shut up, they're 15-2. They have Pat, they have Andy, they will figure it out. And I think a lot of the questions you're asking about this team, the wide receiver room, the pass rush, how fast can the secondary that's very young hit the ground running? Are they going to commit to the run? All the questions you ask, I think fans in Kansas City keep saying, we got Pat, we got Andy, we will figure it out. Well, the we got Pat, we got Andy, we'll figure it out plan came crumbling down last year. Because you know what they had during a 6-11 season? They had Pat and they had Andy. And at no point last year they figured it out. It was pillar to post a disaster in Kansas City.
You want to know why they didn't figure it out? They don't have elite weapons. They don't have an elite defensive line. Like the same things that we criticize Philadelphia for, and we say, oh, well, Jalen Hurts, you're part of this system. The Chiefs used to have some of these things, and they can get it back, right? But like you talk about the 2022 team, they had an elite player on offense, undeniable elite player in Travis Kelce, that was their Jackson Smith and Jigba. That was their A.J. Brown. Like I'm looking at these teams that have gone to Super Bowls. That was their George Kittle. That was their Deebo Samuel. That was their elite number one playmaking kind of player. So your offense was built around that. So you had Juju, who stepped in nicely with 900 yards. You had Isaiah Pacheco, who had 800 yards. But at the core of it, you had an elite offensive player. I think Kenneth Walker is a very productive player. I don't think that Kenneth Walker is an elite running back in the league. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Christian McCaffrey. He's not one of these kind of guys. He's good, though. But I think you need one of those guys. To your point about the defensive line in 2022 and why I am where I'm at with the Chiefs, you could argue that's maybe the best season of Chris Jones' career in 2022. 15 and a half sacks. He had 17 tackles for losses. Rob, he had 29 quarterback hits during that time frame. Like, I feel like we forget when the Chiefs were at their absolute peak, when they were at their heyday, you had Frank Clark that could figure it out in the second half of the season. That, yeah, maybe you were mad about Frank Clark in the regular season, but once that calendar shifted to January and you put that guy with a dangerous version of Chris Jones, you had an elite defensive line that could get after the other team's quarterback. This is 15 and a half sacks, 29 quarterback hits. Top 5 defensive player in the league. So yes, it was Pat and Andy will figure it out. Pat and Andy figured it out with the best tight end in the National Football League, the best defensive tackle in the National Football League, Tyrann Mathieu, who was a top 5 safety at his position. They just had guys who were elite high-end players. This year's team is trying to develop elite high-end players. They don't come ready-made like they were in 2022 or 2023. So I think this is the process of finding out, hey, is Mansour Delane one of the 10 best corners in the league? Can our Mason Thomas turn into a Nick Benito type? Can George Karlaftis be a Max Crosby where he has 12 and a half sacks? So I think you need those 3 foundations in order to win the Super Bowl. I think you need high-level quarterback play. You need elite weapons. Look at these teams that have won the Super Bowl or gone to the Super Bowl. Kansas City, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, the Rams, Philly, Seattle. You need one of those guys on your team. And I think you need an elite, incredible front 4. You need a Vita Vea. You need what the Seattle Seahawks have with Byron Murphy. You need a couple of those kind of guys. And I think the Chiefs are developing those pieces. I don't know if they have those guys today.
And I think, to combine the two thoughts, in 23, 24, all those years, the Chiefs, they used the talent, they used Reed, they used Mahomes, and the rising tide lifted all boats. Like, I know that Kareem Hunt was not as good as the text line thinks he was in 2024, but they did pick a guy off the street and basically get 600 yards from him because the pillars you're talking about, combined with Reed and combined with Mahomes, the rising tide lifted all boats. Well, the tide didn't rise last year. And then you started noticing all the cracks in the foundation, to mix metaphors. So I think they need to get back to that. And when you have those pillars that you're talking about, then some of those secondary questions, not the position group, but secondary to your pillars, don't need to be answered with, acing the test. They just need to pass, because that's what the Chiefs' secret sauce was. They had stars at the important positions, or they were dynamic at the important positions, and it made it easy to survive and advance with Dan Sorensen starting at safety, because next to him was Tyrann Mathieu, an established great veteran. So I don't know that last year they had the rising tide that lifts all boats. The hope is this year that has returned, and it's not just Pat and Andy go make something happen. You have an elite pass rusher maybe in Peter Woods. You have maybe an elite corner, and then your questions about, hey, is Chamari Connor a good safety, don't really get highlighted because you're covering your bases with the stars and the talent.
All right, Rob, let's shout out Jungle Law, and then there's one thing I want to talk in relation to what we're talking about.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by Jungle Law. Jungle Law is here to dominate all cases of DUI, personal injury, criminal defense, and sexual harassment. Call the lawman, 816-816-9111.
I think that people, and I get it because the offense wasn't that great in 2023. I mean, their offense was, just from a numbers perspective, they were ranked 15th in the NFL. I don't think people remember kind of how good the defense was that year, and I think you could argue that they were the best defense in the league. They were second in points allowed. Also, to my point about elite defensive line, that season, Chris Jones had 10.5 sacks. George Karlaftis had 10.5 sacks. Charles Omenihu, who only played in 11 games and had 7 sacks that season. So he was incredible when he got healthy. And you remember when he came back, the impact that had on George Karlaftis that year. And Mike Dana had 6.5 sacks. This is what I was saying when I keep making the point of, Rob, they just need more good players under the age of 30 years old. That defensive line, back in 2023, Chris Jones was 29, Karlaftis was 22, Charles Omenihu was 26, Mike Dana was 26 too. And then you look at their offense, they had a lot of young players too. They just got to develop those players, and I think that's what this year is about. Can you turn Emmett Johnson into a guy? Can you turn Cyrus Allen into a guy? Can you start to turn these into guys and add some more next year, fill that in with some gaps in free agency? And I don't think that their talent is that far off. I just think they're maybe a year away from that high-end talent. And that's the purpose of this conversation. All right, Rob, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. I will be back on Monday. Who's filling in for the rest of the week?
Jay Binkley.
Binkley will be here. Well, salute to my guy, Jay Binkley. I'll catch you guys on Monday.